Yes, good afternoon. It is, I believe, what the kids call a bomber. I was completely not ready. I was getting prepared for a 3 p.m. show, but it has happened. Spurs have reached an agreement with Crystal Palace. Spurs have reached an agreement with Crystal Palace for Eze. It is Eze Day, you could say, if you would like to put it like that. It is Eze Day. Lots of will we, won't we? Will the chairman get it done? Will the chairman not get it done? But it very much looks like we have got this done. It's not completely over the line yet. And of course, people will want to hear a Romano. Here we go. People will want to see the club announce it. But Tottenham Hotspur have agreed a deal in principle for Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. All the Arsenal fans must be very, very gutted right now. They must be truly, truly gutted. And we are surely very, very happy. We believe the fee is in and around £60 million. And what a day for Tottenham Hotspur. What a great day for Tottenham Hotspur. Hey, listen, I did a video earlier and I said, this saga needs to end. And this could be the end. Sorry, I've dropped my phone. This could be the end of such a saga. This really, really could be the end. Now, of course, there are going to be people that are slightly dubious because of what happened with Morgan Gibbs White. I completely get it. However, not every deal is going to be like Morgan Gibbs White. I am so happy. For me, if this gets over the line, which it looks like it will now, this looks like it's going to be the best signing this club has made for well over a decade, in my opinion. I can't even think of the last time that the whole Spurs fan base wanted a signing as much as they want Eberechi Eze. He is skillful. He is creative. He is a maverick. But how close is he to becoming a Tottenham Hotspur footballer? Let's have a look, shall we? So this is what we got. I will flick through. I believe it first came out from Paul O'Keefe. So it'd be very rude of me not to go to Paul O'Keefe. Paul O'Keefe posted there 19 minutes ago. 19 minutes ago. Look how quick the world moves. 19 minutes ago, that he understands that Tottenham have reached a verbal agreement with Crystal Palace for Eberechi Eze. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Then, off the back of that, Ben Jacobs got involved, didn't he? Ben Jacobs has got involved and said this, breaking: Tottenham have reached an agreement in principle with Crystal Palace for Eberechi Eze. Now, just a few minutes before that, Fabrizio Romano was at it. And he said, where are we? He said, there we go. This was 22 minutes ago. 22 minutes ago. Negotiations for Eberechi Eze to Spurs are again underway today after a 55 plus 5 million proposal yesterday. Daniel Levy and Steve Parish in direct contact to seal the agreement. These are the days. How often do you get these days? How often do you get these days? Eberechi Eze, for what it's worth, looks like it is going to be a Tottenham Hotspur footballer. It's been a long, drawn-out summer. It really, really has. But we are getting a top Premier League proven maverick, playmaker, goal scorer, creator. This is the signing that we said, will we get him over Arsenal? And Arsenal haven't gone in. Arsenal have not gone in. And Spurs, to their credit, have. But we got him over the line. And you know what? I thought I wouldn't be as excited because of all the talks that have gone on, but I absolutely am. I absolutely am. We move, as the fans say. We move. We can talk about the Savio deal in a minute, maybe Akalush, but right now, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is what I want to watch at Tottenham Hotspur. These are the players I don't want to watch. Sorry, I don't want to watch Richarlisons and Brennan Johnsons. I don't want to watch Tells and Odebers. I want to watch Kudus's and Eze's. I want to watch Savios. I want to watch Akalush's. I want to watch these skillful, creative mavericks play football. And for me, this is a wonderful, wonderful day to be a Tottenham Hotspur football fan. But will we have to wait? Will we have to wait to get this over the line until Palace find a replacement? That's going to be the big question. That's going to be the big question. Everyone's at it now. Rudy Galletti is saying it. So, look, payment structure, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Is this going to be 100%? Now, we've been burnt before. I get it. There's a lot of people saying it's not been done. Ornstein hasn't said it. The club haven't said it. And listen, I just want to believe that this time, surely Spurs can't do what we did with the Morgan Gibbs-White deal. Surely Spurs can't do that again, can they? Surely. If this deal comes off, then Tottenham Hotspur have got themselves an absolutely fantastic player. And this, for me, signals a change. Kudus, Paulinho, Eze. I mean, it's different. It's a different window if this comes off. Not saying we don't need more. Not saying we don't need more before everyone shouts and goes crazy at me. But this is something different. This is the likes of what we've not seen before. Ben Jacobs has posted again. Where are we? Let's have a look. Ben Jacobs has posted again. Let me just bring that up. 1 second. It's all happening, isn't it? It's all happening. Here we go. 2 minutes ago, he has said this. Where are we? There we go. Breaking Tottenham have reached an agreement in principle with Palace for Eberechi Eze. Palace must now find a replacement with Eze waiting and training as normal. So are we saying that we've agreed a deal for the player but can't have the player yet? Is that what we're saying? That we can't have the player until they find someone else? I mean, Philly, it's not a promising start. Kudus, Paulinho. Guys, I know we want to be negative, but come on. Kudus, Paulinho, Eze. That's a bloody great start, isn't it? Those three. And then get me a top winger as well. Get a top winger as well. And Tottenham are cooking. Sorry, I'm getting loads of people. Like, my phone goes mad. I know that people seem to think that I wouldn't have known about this information. Everyone in the world WhatsApps me. We'll see. I'd love to think that Spurs will be able to get him in before Palace find a replacement. Lots of people talking about a replacement. About a medical, maybe tomorrow, maybe a Wednesday. I don't know. I just need this to hurry up. Sky are reporting that a deal is very close for El Canouse for Crystal Palace. So that might be why this is going to get done. We will see. We will see. Listen, I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon with this. I'm over the moon. I genuinely, I can't believe that the number of comments you still see that are very, very, it's a, good start, or, Levy must do this. Just enjoy the moment. Just enjoy the moment, you miserable sods. Enjoy the moment. Can't believe I get called negative compared to some of you lot out there. This is a good day, isn't it? Isn't this a good day if this is what we get? Alpha said we nearly scammed 70 million out of you guys for Savio. Sad day that the deal collapsed. I don't think it's scamming at all. I think this is a bitter Man City fan talking. Why would it be scamming? No, come on. He's a top footballer. You know he is. Why? I don't know why anyone is. I don't know why anyone is at the moment. This should be a great time to be a Spurs fan. This is what we've been asking from our chairman. This is what we've been asking, isn't it? Go and get an Eze. Go and get a grown-up Premier League proven player, the best player of another club. We've done it with Kudus. We've now done it with Crystal Palace. If this deal goes through, Gus has said this is ridiculously silly. Yeah, but Gus, we know you don't want to be happy, do you? We know this, mate. It's just repeating what has already been reported 2 days ago. They haven't reported that. They said that we've agreed a deal in principle. I don't understand. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I'm really confused. Why are fans like this being reported? They've repeated as they wanted to join. Levy not paying the money still. Gus, we've agreed a fee. Gus, we've agreed the deal. You do know what agreed the deal in principle means, don't you? Come on, this is a great day. Oh, what a player this is. Oh, man, what is going on? Come on, people. I know I know we've been burnt. I know we have. I know we've been burnt, but can we not be happy? Can we not be happy? This is great news, right? Big up, Gary. How you doing, mate? So this is a great day. This is years in the making. We're going to see some great football this season. I really hope so. Alex Crook is getting involved now as well and said Spurs have agreed, have got an agreement in place. It's a great day. It's an absolute great day. Wait, bear with me 1 second. Let me let people know we're live. I should have done that first thing. 1 second. Let me... I genuinely don't understand sometimes, guys. I genuinely don't understand how people are desperately trying to want this to fail. What is it? As a deal agreed in principle. I genuinely think people need to understand what different words mean, right? I think people need to understand what different words mean. When people are going, oh, it's the same as before. This isn't the same as before. When have we ever said that we've got a deal in place with Eze? I don't know why we can't. Let's be happy. Let's be happy, people. Can we please be happy? This is a great day. If it falls through, it falls through. But right now, I'm being happy. I'm being happy right now. No, Savio, what we've been asking is get Eze, Savio through the door, bang, bang. Stop wasting time signing one player every window and barely improving. I mean, Kudus, Paulinho, Eze. I mean, what's going on? What is going on with people? What is going on? Big up to Kobe, who said this is Spurs' moment. They will never have a better season more than what people expect. They will have a better season more than people expect. That's coming from a United fan. I genuinely can't believe that some people are like this. Phil, absolutely. If this deal gets over the line, plus one more, we'll see. Personal terms and agreement with the club are different things. This is new. Absolutely. Gus, sorry, mate. I love you to bits. I know you're always in here. But honestly, how can we not be seeing this and being over the moon? I think he changes the dynamic of Tottenham. He changes how we attack. He changes how teams set up and defend against us. What on earth is going on? Listen to you talking as though he is in. How do you allow your emotions to take over reality? How do you allow yourself to be a complete and utter twat every day? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? My emotions. Of course I've got emotions. I want Spurs to sign top players. And all we're hearing is that a deal in principle has been agreed. How on earth? Guys and girls, I give you twat number one. There you go. You know me. I don't care. Twat number one. Got no time for fucking imbeciles like this. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. What does this even mean? Look, every situation isn't Morgan Gibbs White. We have to read this. I know, but do people expect that YouTubers aren't going to go live with this news? Do people expect that YouTubers aren't going to go live with this news? Okay, I give up. All right, cool. Yeah, everyone, it's shit. It's shit. Sorry, this guy, not happy. Stu's not happy. That athlete guy is not happy. Sorry, guys, we can't be happy. We can't be happy. Sorry, we can't be happy. Twats like this say we can't be happy. Look, we can't be happy. Thank you, Jay. Someone who's happy. Someone who is happy. What is wrong? What is wrong with the world? This is a brilliant time. This is brilliant. Come on, this is great. This. I'm so happy. God, I'm not even going to apologize. I'm so happy. Big up to you. So, Savio, you will never win if you're positive or negative. Oh, mate, it is ridiculous, isn't it? It's utterly ridiculous. But listen, big up to you, man. How you doing? I hope you're well, Martin. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon. I think that this is a really good day for Tottenham. I don't know why. Surely we all want to be happy. Palace have said that Eze won't be let go until replacement is in place. They have a bid for a player in Belgium turned down. So it's great news getting Eze. Paratici is aiding Palace get the player. Well, at the moment, they're in talks with El Canoes. But you would think that Spurs now, we've got the deal in place. Spurs are going to get this deal over the line. Spurs are going to get this deal over the line. Are you free at 7 p.m. for a panel on our channel, mate? Yes, depending on Eze News. Yeah. We sit there all summer, don't we? This is what I love about Spurs fans. We sit there all summer. Get Eze, get Eze, get Eze, get Eze. We agree a deal in principle. Oh, yeah, but we still need a left winger. You just won a European trophy. What do you mean? You just won a European trophy. We just won a game 3-0 and we're now signing Eze. What more do you want? What more? What is, come on, dude. What is it you want? What is it you want? Yeah, but you're the first one, Faz, that would have a go at me for not being a Spurs fan because I don't celebrate things. Oh, my gosh. You genuinely can't win. Big up to Joshua. Thank you very much. Starting the super sticker train. Said, so happy now. Okay, enough of that. Who's next? Nah, Josh, this is a good day. We've got listen, we've all wanted this chairman to get this deal over the line, haven't we? We've all been asking for this chairman to get the deal over the line. Now he has got the deal over the line. Now he has agreed the deal in principle. We've surely got to be happy. Hey, let me get some more. Let me get some positive comments. I can't believe some of the crap I've been reading. Sorry, mate, you're getting blocked. You're too much of a cunt. Sorry, I said it. There you go. C-U-N-T, this bloke. That's going into a timeout. Sorry, I can't be doing this. I can't be doing this. Spurs, if I come on and say, what a shit window, you're negative, you're not a real fan. I come on and say, what a great day. Content is king. What do you mean? This is great. This is great. What do we want? Sorry for using the C word. I've got no time for people like that. Big up to you. Said, good morning, Savio. It's been an exciting last 24 hours. It's definitely been something the last 24 hours, hasn't it? It's definitely been Spurs keeping us up and down, up and down. But this is what we asked for. This is what we asked for. If we can't be happy in moments like this, when can we be happy? If we can't be happy with days like this, then when can we be happy? I don't know. You tell me, guys, when can we be happy? Big up to Fifth Elemento. They're we cooking. I imagine one or two more. Imagine Kudus, Eze, Paulinho. We're completely revamping what was a very, very dysfunctional midfield and forward line. Slowly but surely revamping it. I am here for this. Big up to unenthusiastic sports fan. Big up to you. I said big up Sava. Eze news is great news. Not half. Not half, mate. Eze news is fantastico. In fact, let me ask the poll. Let me put a poll in. By the way, guys, can we be a bit happier? 855 of you in it and 179 likes. Surely everyone should be liking and happy and subscribing. Come on, people. This is a great day to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And if I can be happy, you lot can certainly be happy. Let me ask the question. Okay. How happy are you? How happy are you with the Eze news? Right, let's see. Let's go with not happy. Let's see how many trolls we get. Let's go happy. Let's go over the moon. And last one is going to be best signing for a decade. There we go. Best signing for a decade. Let's see what people think. There's a myriad of options there to pick from. Best signing for a decade. Is it going to be that? We will see. But thank you very much for the super chat. Really, really do appreciate you. Let's see some... Gary Coys is happy, but still want a left winger and a centre back and a left back. Every single post that comes in, I'm just looking to see, is it Spurs? What's going on? Are we going to get any different news? Are we going to get any different news from anybody that can maybe tell us it's gone a little bit further? Chris has said, Savio, if we get Eze and Savio, where does this rank in the transfer window in the last 25 years? I would say it's the best window we've had. I would say if we get both of them, it's the best window we've had. I cannot remember the last time we would have got 4 players like that strolled into the first 11. I really can't. I mean, in the chat, let me know. For you guys, where does this rank? I can't remember a time. I really can't remember a time. Big up, Stu. How you doing, my man? Said I'm buzzing with this, Sava. Type of signing to give a whole new dimension to our attack. This is the type of signing that hopefully should bring all the fan base together. Forget what's happened. Forget what's happened. I don't want to hear last 25 years. This year was what we needed the summer transfer window to be good for. Big up to you, Maz. Let me know if you want to come on, my man, or you're probably at work. He said, big up, big signing for us, Eze. A player we can genuinely be excited about. Not had one of those in a while. Absolutely, mate. I've not been this excited for a player for years. By the way, I love the Kudus signing. I love the Kudus signing. I'm so happy. Ethan said all these people who are miserable are the ones who don't want to praise the ownership. Listen, credit where credit is due, right, Ethan? Credit where credit is due. Surely what we can't do in life, this isn't just football. Surely what we can't do in life is sit there and say, I want this. And then we go out and get these things and then go, yeah, but it's too late. Yeah, but this chairman, I don't care. It's 25-26 season. I wanted Eze. Looks like we've got him. I wanted Kudus. Looks like we got him. I wanted Paulinho. Looked like we got him. I can't complain. Does that mean I don't want more? Of course not. I'm a football fan. We're greedy. But surely I was expecting a sea of everybody being very happy. We'll see. No, El Canus is just a backup. The player they are after plays in Belgium. Yeah, you're talking about Tzolis, who plays for Club Bruges, but he's only just signed a new contract at Bruges, so he might not be gettable. But they're not going to not let him go if they bring in El Canus. Then surely they're not going to not let him go. Everybody, please, listen, I'm going to ask you from the bottom of my heart, and I want you to trust me on this. Please lay off of Angus today. This is a big day for him for something other than football. So please, if you could lay off, please, just lay off. We will banter him next week. We will banter the life out of Angus next week. Today's a very important day to him. Angus, dude, the advice I would give you, my man, just jump off. With what you've got going on, jump off, mate. Honestly, that's all I would say. Just jump off. Spurs Voice TV has said, I'm psyched that we've finally got an Eze. He will transform our team, and we are slowly building a challenging team. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Sava. Big up to you. Listen, look, I'm I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon, over the moon, over the moon. Will Spurs get this done completely? I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. But hang on. Oh, hang on a second. But what I do know is this: we've agreed a fee. We've agreed a fee. What more do we want? What more do people want at this stage? We've agreed the fee. We've got a deal in principle. Guys, please. Not today. Not today, please. Angus, do yourself a favour, buddy. Angus, do yourself a favour. Please, mate, jump off. Not telling you to, but jump off, buddy. Today, the fans are going to come for you banter-wise. Just jump off, mate. Just jump off. Honestly, mate. They just want you to be negative all the time. How can people not be happy? Yeah. So I'm looking around on X trying to see, has anyone else said anything? I'm guessing we're going to get more of the same. But Tottenham Hotspur, if they get this deal done, for me, I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think what the last signing was that made me feel like the way I feel right now. The last signing that made me feel this way. I genuinely can't think. I wanted Madison. I was very happy with that. I wanted Kudus. I was really happy with that. Happy with Paulinho. But this is a different type of excitement. This is a different type of excitement, isn't it? This is one you know. This is one you know that's going to get you off your seat. This is one that's going to do things in a game where you go, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I like in a footballer. That's what I like in a footballer. Oh, my gosh, look who we've got. Nope. All right. He said to me, nope, I don't know what he's doing. He's in Perchy being admin in my back stream. I have no idea. Oh, I know what he's doing. I know what Perchy is doing. Look, guys, let me get some comments. I'm so happy. I'm genuinely so happy. I can't believe, though, that for 1,000 people in here, 287 likes, smash the like button. Smash the like button if you like this news you're hearing today. Smash this like button. And I know what he's done. I know what he's done as I bring in Philly. But before I do, here we go. We are so back. There we go. Eze, an AI-generated Eze with "We are so back." That is exactly what Perchy was putting in to the stream in StreamYard. Billy, you miserable git. What a great signing, right? If we get this done.
Mate, it's been a good window, yeah. It's been a very good window. Like I said, it's a promising start, yeah. I want this to be the same for every window, bro. I want this window to be like the beginning of every window, and that's how it should be. This is the level of Spurs signing here that I expect every year, dude. Not exactly not world changers, but players that come into the squad to upskill the squad, yeah, and take Spurs to the next level. So it's no more than I ever wanted for the club. And Eze, yeah, is a brilliant player. And I'm going to enjoy watching him in the Champions League, yeah, going forward from his attacking midfield position, yeah, and running at the defence. So we're going to have defences on the back here, especially with Kudus as well. And if we can get a pacey left winger, yeah, then we've got some trouble in the Champions League next season. Our front, our back, the three behind the main attacker, yeah, look lethal. And that's something that we've wanted for years. So Spurs have done brilliantly on that sense this year. And I'll always give Spurs their flowers, bro. And I'll always give Levy his praise when he needs it. But I'll also criticise when he deserves it as well. I want us to be balanced. There have to be.
No, of course. But today isn't the day for that. Today is the day for great, right? Today is the day where you go, if this is true and if we have agreed a deal, Daniel Levy has done what everybody wanted him to do. We can't knock that, right?
Exactly. And so I'm happy. I'm Mate, I'm over like you say, I'm overjoyed that Spurs finally got Eze, and I'm overjoyed that Eze's coming in there because that's a player that we do need. We need that creativity because we lack that without Maddison in there, and Maddison's going to be out for a while. So we needed somebody who was genuinely creative in that squad anyway, because he's the only creative spark in that squad. So I'm going to give Spurs their flowers today. Well done to getting the deal done and so quickly as well.
Mate, I'm so happy. I'm genuinely so happy. I don't remember the last time that the whole fan base wanted a player. Do you know what I mean, Philly? Normally you get players where you go, oh, I love him. No, I'm not so keen. I haven't really seen anyone say they don't want Eze. And is that what will make this signing so different to the others? The fact that it probably will unite the fan base more than the fan base knows.
Yes, I agree, sir. And once Eze puts a shirt on, and what I like about him as well, Savio, yeah, is like Maddison, yeah, he seems to be a dead ball specialist. So it offers us another element when we have free kicks and that around the area, like you saw on against Chelsea on the weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing that myself, yeah, as Spurs having that element, because other than Poro, yeah, who's taking his free kicks and that, I don't really see anybody at the moment who's going to be stepping up to do them dead balls. So that's another good thing that Eze will do. But yeah, I think this. I'll even go past Van der Vaart, because Van der Vaart was a signing of circumstances because Real Madrid wanted him out. So I'm going to put this up there, yeah. And you don't hear this that much from me, Savio, yeah. But up there with my signing, yeah, Jurgen Klinsmann for groundbreaking for Spurs at this moment in time. I'm putting it up there for them.
Wow. High praise indeed. High praise indeed, because there'll be a lot of fans watching who wouldn't have remembered that day. I remember that day very well. As I was saying yesterday, I remembered watching the end of the BBC. I saw it on teletext. Remember the old teletext? And then I remember at the end of the BBC News, there was the 2 minutes of sport, and they just showed Alan Sugar on his yacht with Jurgen Klinsmann. Do you remember?
I do, mate. I remember him shaking his hands on the yacht, and then I remember the next day, yeah, when the tabloids came out, and all over the back of the Daily Mirror, you saw pictures of Alan Sugar on the boat shaking his hand. And for years, yeah, I'm going to say this for years, here, Savio, yeah, I've wanted Spurs to make a signing on that level, because Jurgen Klinsmann should have been a point where Spurs kicked on and be able to say, look, we can sign these kind of players. So I'm not going to kick Eze, mate, because I think Eze is a magnificent signing. And like I say, so is Kudus and so is Paulinho, right? So let's see what they can do. We still need more strength in depth, yeah, everybody. That is obvious. We still need strength in depth. But this is a start. And that's all we can ask for is a start. So let's see what we can do and let's kick on.
Mate, absolutely. Absolutely. I just remember the day. I mean, look at this. Let me show you. Everyone remember this photo? Here we go. Look at that. Remember that? Remember that? Klinsmann and Sugar? Look at that photo from all those years ago. Look at that. Go on. Look, just quickly before we do, before I go to some, actually, I'll do this first. Let me go to some super chats. Big up to everyone. Come on, guys. If we can't smash the like button on a day like today, they might as well remove the like button. Come on, this is a great day. There's nearly 1,000 of you in here and 343 likes. Smash that button. We've got a poll running where I've said, how happy are you with the Eze news? Not happy is 6%, happy 23%, over the moon 41%, and best signing of the decade 29%. Let me do some super chats. So big up to Joe Bothwell. Thank you very much. Said, why is everyone moaning? We got Eze. Sava, love the vid. Thank you very much, my man. Listen, we're not moaning. Look, I've even got, I was pointing there. I don't know what, I've even got, look.
You Spurs shirt on, look at that.
Look, Tottenham. Got my Tottenham. You never see me in Tottenham outfits, do you? Big up to you. Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. My man, Mohit. Thank you very much. Said any fan complaining about this signing can never be satisfied. A player that elevates us instantly. Let's keep the momentum up. Yield is next. But listen, I'd love Yildiz. Can't see it happening, but I do really like Yildiz. Big up to you, Mohit. Big up to Tony Rodriguez. Very generous. Said, I'm over the moon. Now get a left winger and a proper striker. I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to go for a striker this window from what I've seen. but it does look like we're going for another winger. Now, whether that's going to be Akalush, who is not really a left winger, by the way. He's more of an attacking midfielder, right winger. But what he would do is allow Eze, Kudus, and Akalush as a free behind a striker is mustard. So big up to you, Tony. Thank you very much. And then Waka, very generous, said, for fuck's sake, I can't deal with a positive, happy Sava. I hope you're good, mate. This is how I want to be. Every day, this is what I want Spurs to make me. Thank you very much, Waka. Really appreciate that. This is what potentially we could look like at the moment if this deal gets over the line. This is potentially what we're looking like. So the goalkeeper is Vicario. I've left the left wing empty, but look at the balance in the midfield two and the attacking two behind Richarlison. How different is that to the rubbish we've been seeing for the last 10 years or so, other than Kane and Son?
Mate, I've been asking for this for time because I felt for the last 2 years, just the club itself has been hiding behind Kane and Son. Instead of kicking on from them, we've been hiding behind them. So now that Kane and Son has gone, now we're going to see the club's true intentions, and let's see what they've got for us. So far, it looks good. We've got Kudus on the right, and we've got Eze just behind the striker in the central number 10 position. Like I say, both of them like to get forward and dribble with the ball. And both of them have lovely touches on the ball. So I'm interested in seeing how the dynamics work, but we do need a left winger. I agree with that. And I know it might be fast-fetched, but I'll even take Garnacho at this moment in time on the left-hand side compared to what we have on the left-hand side. And he's still available, by the way, because Chelsea haven't done anything there. So I'll still be into that one to see if there's an option there as well. Nah, for Garnacho, bro.
Oh, for Garnacho?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind Garnacho, but I do feel that it would be a little bit underwhelming after links with players like Akalush and Savio. I do feel like it would probably be just a tad on the underwhelming side. Don't you?
I hear that, Savio, but right now, we also have to look at the window is closing in a couple of weeks, Savio. We have to get deals over the line still. And if we could get something like a Savio, fair enough. But right now, do you think that we can get that deal over the line? Because I don't think Man City want to sell. They said that already. They don't want to sell, dude.
Well, the reports are that Pep would, but the sporting director doesn't want to. But I guess this is going to all boil down to one thing. This is going to boil down to one thing. Big up, Chris. I'll bring you in 1 second, my man. Hope you're well. The Savio situation is that the director of football is the one that doesn't want him to leave. Pep is always happy for players to leave if they want to. It could be a case that he either hands in a transfer request or we move somewhere else. But I don't think at this stage we can blame Tottenham on the Savio deal. I genuinely, from what I'm hearing, is we are doing everything we can to try and get him over the line, but City whoever it is, don't want to let him go. So I can't blame Spurs for that one.
No, I don't blame Spurs for that. I'm not blaming. I am not blaming Tottenham Hotspurs for Savio. I'm just looking at it like an observer, and I'm looking at it and thinking, 60 million pounds. If you want the player enough, Savio, this is a buyer's market, a seller's market, So if you want the player enough, Savio, you put the money down to buy the player. If you want Savio enough, you'd pay the 60 million or whatever that Man City. You've seen enough evidence here of how good he is as a player, and what he could actually do to the side if he was added to the team. And then you have to evaluate that, and put that into how much you're willing to pay for the guy. Now, I reckon he is worth that because I could see there's a lot of not just potential in there, but I actually see what he's done on the pitch as well, because I've watched Girona play. I watched La Liga, so I know that league, and I've seen him perform on the left-hand side, because for Man City, he's been playing on the right-hand side, and I've seen what kind of influence he has on the match, and I think he's worth that money, but at the end of the day, it's up to what the buying club want to buy, innit?
Yeah, look, I agree. Look, let me bring in Chris. Welcome.
I heard this as well. The shiny, happy people are hanging out for this moment in time.
Yeah, someone who wasn't got called a cunt by me. So be aware, Chris. Be happy, or you get called a cunt. Just so you know, is that okay?
I've had far worse things called to me over the years. I can assure you.
Chris, if this is all above board,
Mhm.
and the deal has been agreed, and we get it done, I mean, this is for me, I can't think of another signing like this for. I want to go back to Van der Vaart. I genuinely can't think of another one.
This is what we've been screaming out for ages. 27 years of age, absolute quality, international footballer, and we're not investing for once in a kid that might come good. We've got something that's at that level, will only get better, and instantly moves the needle on the team.
How much do you think this will bring the fan base together, Chris? Because we are a very fractured fan base. You know what I mean? We couldn't agree on anything. Even when we won a Europa League, we were still all at each other's throats. And how much do you think this could potentially bring us together?
I think for the mature, sensible, articulate ones amongst us, we will all be delighted. But this is Tottenham, where there's always going to be people who like to grumble. So there's still going to be that childish mindset, moaning for one way or another, just because people like to moan.
Yeah, for me, there's nothing to make with Chris. I mean, like for me right now, this has got to be a day where surely there's no talk about Enoch, Levy, 25 years. It's about
just
now,
chiming in on your left-handed option. I still can't believe that Malik Fofana's not in the contention. Having previously said in the transfer window he's holding out for a Champions League team, I think he'd offer something really good for that side.
I agree with that one.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said to me earlier as well that if you did this, let me see if I can spell his name right. There we go. He's the first one that comes up. You could almost do this and almost have it a bit narrower.
But all of a sudden, we've got genuine talent across the front four, which we've missed for ages. We've been square pegs with round holes, and all of a sudden, we've got undeniable talent that lifts that side.
Yeah, I mean, listen. By the way, when I put in Akalouche, Savio, obviously these are all names that we've been linked with. Add whoever you want in there. But Benji, welcome to the show, mate.
Hello, mate.
You promised me Rodrigo, but we'll settle with Eze, won't we? How are you feeling right now about it?
Right, I'm going to be honest. I'm happy, but next.
Oh no! Come on!
Next.
Come on!
Mate,
come on.
Listen, it's taken so long, right? That it's killed the buzz for me. Of course, I'm happy. Of course, I am. But I'm at a point now where it's next. Well done, Spurs. You've replaced a player that was essentially injured in Madison. Fantastic. Where's my left winger? That's where I am right now. You've brought in a player that's got into double figures for goal involvements twice in his Premier League career. Well done. I'm over the moon. Next.
Hang on.
You sound like my wife, Benji. Never happy, never satisfied.
Yeah.
When it comes to Tottenham, mate, I'm not. You know what? I'll tell you something.
But Ben, surely what we can't do as a fan base.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the sexiest man alive is on the TV. So it just distracted me. And if you know who it is,
David
Ginola. Oh, love him.
Okay.
Not just sexy looking, what a footballer. But if we can't surely, Ben, on a serious note, we can't be, demanding and harassing and pushing for Levy to make signings like Kudus, like Paulinho, like Eze, and then just go right next. Surely we can at least enjoy this while we're getting this over the line and then we worry about the next one. Surely there's got to be a little bit of, what's the opposite to grieving? What's that bit at the beginning?
Celebration.
The honeymoon period, right? Surely, Ben, come on.
Look, this is great. This is fantastic. We've had two major signings now. It's the first time. And again, this is even if it gets over the line, because we all know what Tottenham are like. It might not. We'll see. But, this is a first for Tottenham. Well done. You're acting like a club that you should have been acting like for the last 5 years. Congratulations. Isn't it amazing? Thank you, Mr. Tony. That's what I'm saying. Look, again, I don't want to take away from the fact that I'm happy about this. It's great. But all I am trying to get across is we need to improve in areas that look, Southampton have come into the league and spent 160 million. Are they challenging for anything? Last time I checked, they wasn't. They just got into the league.
Are you talking about Sunderland?
What did I say? Southampton.
Southampton. That's right. I
I'm
know what you
sorry.
meant.
Yeah,
Sorry, Sunderland. Sunderland.
I
Yeah.
meant Sunderland. Yeah, yeah. They've just come into the league. They spent 160 million. Now that's an extra 50 million more than Tottenham have, and we are in dire straits and desperate need to revamp this team. You know, you talk about players getting into our first 11. I mean, it ain't hard, is it? Realistically, with what we've got. But all I'm trying to get across is I need to see the next guy because we still haven't spent over 120 million. Which I know it's not about the money to a certain extent, but I need to see more quality. And right now, I'm seeing a gaping hole in left wing. If you want the truth, I'd have preferred Savio over Eze. Now, I know everyone's going to absolutely roast me for this. Fine. Eze is a great player. What you get with Savio is a possibility of a truly, truly special player. Like, we've not had a Savio type player since Gareth Bale.
But why does it have to be? Why does it have to be either or? Like
Well,
every
it should be both. It should be both. 100%.
sure, Ben. Sure, but every transfer is different, right? Like, you know, Savio, as we were just talking about, I love Savio. Like, I'm a huge fan of him. I agree with you, by the way. I think he's going to be a truly great footballer. I do think he'll be the sort of player who comes to Spurs, has 2 to 3 years, and then buggers off to one of the big clubs. I'm comfortable with that because I know what Spurs are like. But if a deal isn't as easy to do with City as it is to get Eze done, then, you know, we can't just say, oh, if they don't get Savio, they've not shown ambition and it should have been that one, not this one.
But Sav, why would it not be easy? Why would it not be easy? Explain to me why it wouldn't be easy.
Well, because every transfer deal is different. So you've got to remember that within the inner workings of a transfer, you've got the manager of the football club, you've got the director of football of the football club, you've got the owner of the football club, you've got the owner of the buying club, the manager of the buying club, you've got the agent, you've got the fee, you've got the length of the contract, you've got the transfer fee. All of those
and
things.
Most of them are on board with him going.
Yeah, but
slap the money down, and that's it. That's the consensus around. That's the thing. It seems to be if Spurs pay, he can go. And that's it.
Sure, but there are also a lot of big time reporters saying that there's the director of football is fighting tooth and nail to keep him. See, so this is again, you know, when I say this, and me and Danny always argue about this, you know, when I say the difference between a fan's emotion and the reality of what actually happens in a football club, this is why when we just say slap the money down and you get them, it's not always as straightforward as that. It's not always as straightforward as that. You're going to say,
can you show me any evidence to the contrary?
What do you mean? A million evidence? A million. Why? If so, why hasn't every single player that Saudi have tried to buy, why have they not all gone to Saudi? If all deals were that simple, why is everybody who's been offered a deal at Saudi
Because
not
that
in Saudi?
depends deeply on the player, doesn't it? For going to Saudi is dependent on the player. We know
Sure.
Savio would quite happily come to Tottenham.
Sure.
But I would say that the two aren't really related, if I'm honest with you. You can't compare apples to oranges.
Let me bring in the other two. I mean, guys, listen, I think this is really harsh. I don't think, Chris, let me bring you in. I don't think this is as straightforward as we're making. Just slap the money down, you get Savio. I think there's a lot more going on than that for me.
No, that's the reports coming out of the Spanish guy, the director of football. He doesn't want to see another Cole Palmer type scenario, and he's the one who's driving that he's not for sale. So you can stick as much money down on the table. They're not a poor club. They don't have to accept the cash. If they've got somebody sitting on the board saying, no, it's not happening, what more can you do?
Yeah, so sorry, whoever it was, guys, whether it's the CEO, director of football, whatever it is, what we're hearing today is that there is one director at the club that is trying to block the deal. Now, that doesn't mean, Philly, right? That doesn't mean that it can't be done. But I do think that fans just do really simplify transfers. I think if transfers were this simple, Gyökeres wouldn't have taken. I mean, how long did Arsenal take to get Gyökeres over the line? If transfers were that simple, how long did it take Florian Wirtz to get over that Liverpool? That was like 3 weeks or something. Xavi Simons has still not signed for Chelsea, and he's been in talks with them for how long? So I do feel like I'm not saying it can't happen. By the way, Ben, I'm not saying it can't.
There's a difference to the people you just spoke about, though. Like, here's the problem for me. You're absolutely right about Gyökeres. That's fine. But we all knew that Sporting Lisbon are moving the goalposts. That's not the case with Savio. We know how much money they want. It's already been clearly stated. You pay that amount, he's yours. But
So
just
the
don't
guys,
pay the amount. Are we all going to sit here and pretend that Spurs haven't got the money again? Is that where we're at the moment? Because to me, that's what it feels like.
Well, I'm going
Mm.
to agree with you to a little bit, Ben, yeah, on this. One of my problems with Spurs here is complacency, and it's not just not just in the team, but actually in the club itself. I find them a lot complacent. Yeah, they're happy to be where they are, and a little bit of praise for me, yeah, right. And I'm thinking that they might just be happy enough to stay where they are instead of wanting to kick on, which is why I'm a bit hesitant in giving them any flowers at this moment in time while the window's still open. So I'm going to give them till the window's closed there on September the 1st at 7 p.m., right? Because I'm going to say, well, let's see what you have. So far, yeah, you've bought in Paulinho, you bought in Kudus, and you bought in, and you're on the brink of bringing Eze. Yeah, three big signings here, which we all cried out for, by the way, because we had quantity over quality for years and years and end, yeah. And finally this year, yeah, right, with the Sun gone and with Kane gone, we're actually bringing quality to the club. So I'm going to give Tottenham the leeway they need here until the end of the window, and then I'm going to make a proper judgment here on this window, because there's many elements of this window, Ben, yeah, that I'm not happy about. There's the time we spent here going after Morgan Gibbs-White. How many weeks did we waste going after Morgan Gibbs-White and there was nothing in the background? Yeah, that's wasted weeks to me. Where Spurs could have got a winger in there and looked at the squad and thought, you know what, we'll use that time here to buy players. Yes, it takes time to get players over the line. Savio is correct here. There's a lot of variables when you're doing transfer negotiations. You've got to see whether the player fits at your club, whether he's willing to move down or relocate to your club from another country. Then they've got to acclimatise to your country. Because we had it with Stephen Bergwijn when he came over, yeah. His family came over, but then the pandemic hit, and then his family was stuck in Holland, and he was stuck over here. So, you know, a lot of variables that we have to put into transfers before we can say, well, these things happen.
But between you and me, Philly, do you feel like the length of time it's taken, do you think it's any other reason than Levy just trying to lowball Crystal Palace like he does with every other player he tries to sign?
I agree with that and the aspect. This is
know
another one of
this.
mine.
This
What do you mean? I don't know this. I'm
this.
pretty sure it's general knowledge, mate, that this is exactly what Levy does
But
time
the
and
thing
time
is,
again.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
put
why we
it out
missed
there
out
right
on
now.
players like Hazards, your Suarez's. So you
Yeah,
say we don't know this, but do we really not?
But the thing is, when we're talking about low ball in Crystal Palace, the deal's about to be done for £60 million. That's not low ball in Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
Is
but the
it?
original fee was 60 million plus 8 in it, but that was his buyout clause, 60 million plus 8. So he was saving £8 million. But it was 55 million up front, and then 55 million over the contract here, and then the 5 million add-on. So it's 60 million, isn't it?
Yeah, but hang on. Listen, as much as I'd love to have a go at Daniel Levy when I need to have a go at Daniel Levy, if Levy's turning around and waited for this release clause to end. Now, bearing in mind, as fans, we don't know the ins and outs of the release clause. This is the problem. Everyone in the chat is saying things as though it's definitive. The reason we're not getting Savio is this much. We've got to do this. No one's got any way of knowing any of this. No one's got any way of knowing why that deal has not been done. The same with the Eze release clause, because there were people saying that the Eze release clause was going to be 68 million. No one paid it. So if Daniel Levy has waited till the clause has ended to get more favourable terms, I've got no problem with that. Because think about it, guys. If you get more favourable terms, you've got more money to go on another signing. Because
I agree with that.
But this is situational, right? Arsenal would have jumped in and taken him straight off us. Do you think Arsenal would come in?
Why haven't they? Why haven't they then?
Because they clearly, at the moment, don't have the money to do so. They're obviously waiting on sale. So the situation was very lucky. Had this not come off...
That's not that's not very lucky. That's Tottenham understanding what's going on in the market. Come on, listen, I get that we want to bash Levy. And I've done, my man Chris will tell you, I've done plenty of bashing of Levy over the last decade or so, right? But I do feel that when we come out and say these things, it's emotions. Just pay the money. This is an easy deal. We've lowballed. We've lowballed Man City. Well, hang on. Let's look at this, right? Everyone's saying we've lowballed. Tottenham might not value him at 70 million. if City value him at 70 million and Tottenham have said, listen, we want Savio, but we're going to pay 55 tops, that's not lowballing. That's what you value the player at, right? Now you can have some negotiations. Okay, we can meet you at 60, but what we want is a lesser upfront payment or spread it over one more year or whatever it may be. But we can't literally just say lowballing every time a deal doesn't get over the line, because that doesn't seem to apply. Why didn't Man City get Florian Wirtz?
Do you know what's funny? I don't want to bash Daniel Levy.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not going to praise the man for something he should have already done, and acted like this in previous seasons to now. Because from what I can see, there ain't much reason as to why we shouldn't have. And you and me were arguing this a few weeks ago. Why are we not getting players in that we should? Why do we not act like a big club? You know, it was only a few days ago we were like, why are we not bringing signings in early like a big club does? We wait right to the very last. It's not. I'm not trying to bash him, but I'm not going to sit here and go, well done, mate. You're acting like you should have done.
Right, but Ben, if you don't praise someone when they do well, then what incentive do they have to continue doing well? If you don't give someone their due deserts here when they've done something right and accomplished something here, what incentive do they have to do that again? They might as well not bother, bro, because they're not going to get their adulation when they've done well, and they're not going to get criticized. They're not going to get their flowers when they've done well. So why should they do anything good? And that sounds. You have to be balanced, bro. And
I get it.
Yeah, I criticize Daniel Levy. I criticize Daniel Levy. As Savio knows very well, I criticize Daniel Levy. Chris really knows I criticize Daniel Levy. But I also give him his flowers. I have to be balanced, man. When he's done something right, all right, doesn't matter if it's been 5 years or 10 years. When he's done something right, I have to give him his flowers, bro. Like with Ange winning the Europa League, I have to give him his flowers, because if he wasn't there, Ange wouldn't be at the club, and neither would Johnson, who scored the winning goal in that game. So I have to give Daniel Levy his flowers, because he did what a lot of fans didn't want him to do by keeping Ange. So I have to give him his flowers when he's done something good. I have to be balanced. That's the only way I could ever be.
I just think, listen, I get it. Listen, I'm as frustrated as anyone that we always wait till late in the window. I get it. But there are reports as well that Eze didn't want to talk to anybody until the end of the summer. There are reports that he wanted to play in the charity. I don't know. I'm not saying that's 100% true, but I feel the problem is every time we go straight to Daniel Levy, I think there are so many deals where we can blame Daniel Levy, of course, but when we're talking about lowballing, has he lowballed Crystal Palace if we pay 60 million for Eze?
Well, he specifically waited for the release clause to end. And look, we all called this a mile off. We knew what he was going to do. But can I just start off by saying this? Philly, I'm fully with you, mate. You know, you do deserve your flowers. You know, Daniel Levy has made our club a bigger club without winning anything. You know, he's given us a fantastic stadium, a state-of-the-art training facility. The guy has done magic. But when it comes to the footballing side of things, he has put a shotgun to our head. So 100%. That's why I'm not going to sit here and praise a man for acting how he should have already been acting. Because we know... You could look into the books, the whatever it may be. We know the money's been there. We know, because here is a man who has said categorically out of his own mouth, every penny we make from revenue will be put straight into the first team. Now,
but how do we know it hasn't?
Because if you look at our revenue over the last few years,
how much have we spent? We're the fourth biggest spenders in the last 6 years in the Premier League.
381 million.
I think it's more than that. Yeah. To be honest, I think it's 400. Saying I'm not sure.
I think it's very easy for us to blame Levy, as it's the easy thing to do. But at times, our fan base feel like they're playing fantasy football. Transfers, there are a number of moving parts to get that deal across the line. So I think sometimes it's easy to say and be critical. And we hear a lot of nonsense and hot air coming out. ITK is a complete waste of time. There's only three really you can follow: Orstein, O'Keefe, and one other. But I think we just need to calm down a little and maybe just embrace the day for what it is: positive, good news. Whilst rightly saying it doesn't mean anything if we don't get another couple through the door. But I think for once we should be happy that we've got genuine quality, as opposed to signing a Clinton and Ng, Kevin and Kudu, or a Stambouli in midfield, because that's what we were doing 10, 15 years ago.
Do Do you know what? Let me tell you a story. Right, when I worked at Chelsea, there was a player for Chelsea. I'm not going to mention the player's name. There was a player for Chelsea who was sitting around in the canteen, and he just got off the phone. And they're all very loud and vocal. If you ever go into a training ground, it's like a kids club, right? And he turned around and he said, "Yeah, my agent took off the phone. He said Palace have made a third bid for me." Right? And they said, "Are you going to go?" And he was like, "No." And he was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Well, it's Crystal Palace. I'm at Chelsea." And it was like, "Well, yeah, you might get more game time there." And he was like, "Yeah, but I'm at Chelsea. I'm not going to go to Crystal Palace." He said, "It doesn't matter how many times they come in. He said they've offered to make me their top earner at the club." Now, this is the reason I'm telling that story is because the Crystal Palace fans in this scenario could be sitting there going, "Oh, there you go. We're bidding for," I'm not telling you it is, "We're bidding for XYZ. Just get it done. Oh, I can't believe Steve Parish has not got that done." But the bids were going in, this bid, that bid, that bid. But the player didn't want to go. The player was like, "I'm not going there." But the fans will automatically always blame the chairman for not getting a deal done. So sometimes I think we've got to take some of these things into account. Sometimes it's the player, sometimes it's the club, sometimes it's the manager. There's a number of different moving parts as to why a deal can't get done. I blame him when we struggle to get smaller deals over the line. Do you know what I mean? I blame him when we can't get deals that should be at 30, 35 million done. But 60 million, that's not lowballing Palace at all. That's a lot of money. 60 million pounds. It's a lot of money, gentlemen, isn't it? Wouldn't it be a club record signing if we get him at 60 million?
No.
I think it's 65.
65.
Yeah.
No, Solanke was 57.
Yeah, but add-ons make it 65.
Yeah.
Oh, with add-ons. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean,
it'd be a 5 million add-on to Eze as well, so that'd be technically 55.
So
if you want to look at it like that.
But it's not low. I feel like there's too many words that are associated. Listen, when the chairman does something good, I will praise him for it. When he does something bad, I'll do that as well. But I do think that we should get all our ducks in a row before we definitively say why a deal can't happen. And you know now, if Savio doesn't happen, Spurs are going to take all the blame.
But wasn't it you who said you expected Spurs to sign players like Eze?
Sure.
Has he gone out on a limb, or is he doing as he should do?
I think he's doing as he should do. But if I ask him to do the things that he should do, and then he does, I can't knock him for it. No, I can't. Listen, this window, I've said I wanted Kudus badly. He's got him. I wanted Paulinho in the 6. He's got him. He wants Eze, and it's looking like that deal's about to get done. You know, we can't have it both ways, right?
I agree, 100%. You can't have it. You can't have your cake and eat it. And Savio, you know I say this all the time. You can't have your cake and eat it. I can't criticize Levy for not buying the players of Kudus's level, yeah. And then when he does it, yeah, I don't give him his flowers. I have to say, yes, you've done a very good job. This is the kind of signings here that upskill Spurs, right? And this is like you say all the time, yeah, right? This is a circle of life. We should be buying players from Crystal Palace. We should be buying players from the mid-table, from the size of mid-table. That's where Spurs should be signing. I don't expect Spurs to be going down in the relegation zone, which they've been doing for the last few seasons, yeah, signing players from Everton and thinking that's going to be doing anything good. But then, so when Spurs actually do go to someone like Crystal Palace and buy their best player, I'm going to give Daniel Levy his flowers and say, you know what, fair play to you. Yes, it's been 25 years, but you know what? This year, yeah, he finally decided to grow a set and decided to do the right thing.
Well, there you go. So Alistair Gold said Spurs are getting closer to the transfer of Eberechi Eze. More talks between the two clubs planned, but it's looking positive that it will get done. So maybe we've all gone way too early anyway. O'Keefe is saying he's hearing an agreement's done. Alistair Gold is saying it's nearly done. But surely, Chris, let me ask you, surely there's too much now that's happened in this for it to not happen. Surely there is too much.
You would think it would go through. The suggestion is that Palace looking at alternatives, the ex-Greek player who played for Norwich and the guy from Leicester. But we've all been there before, haven't we? We can remember going out to get Bruno Fernandes defenders. So until he's pictured holding the club shirt, standing in front of the stadium, I'll always have that little bit of nervous anxiousness.
We also saw Willie Ancris as well, wasn't it? Where my man was on his way to Tottenham and got a taxi to Chelsea.
Emmanuel Petit used the Tottenham funds to get his taxi over to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Till the fat lady things, nothing's for granted.
Exactly.
It may look like we've gone a bit early though, guys. I mean, Michael Bridge of Sky Sport. Again, it's all about who you want to believe, isn't it? At this stage, it's all about, do we want to believe a fee has been agreed? Do we want to believe HOTSPUR who says it's close? Do we want to believe Michael Bridge that says no deal has been agreed? What I've heard from lots of people is that this is Parish. What I've heard is categorically that this is Parish holding this up because he wants a replacement.
New bodies through the door, yeah.
That's what I'm hearing, and I don't suppose that if that is the case that anybody will give Daniel Levy any credit. I've heard that Daniel Levy on this one has done absolutely everything he can to make this deal happen, and I've heard, by the way, that Spurs are paying 30 million of this up front. That's a big old, right. So when we want to have a pop at Levy, that's a big old chunk of change to whack out on a transfer fee. 30 million up front.
The only concern for me would be if Eze starts for Palace on Thursday night in the Europa Conference League, then you potentially run risk of an injury or something. So if he starts, then it suggests it's not all done as we expect.
Yeah, but I said the same thing about Chelsea, Chris. I said that's just happened this morning about Chelsea. If he were to leave after the Community Shield year, right, the Spurs could have got that deal wrapped up here before the first game of the season, because really and truly, yeah, Eze could have got injured against Chelsea, and every time he went down, it was like a gasp of, it's like you're breathing. Hopefully it doesn't stay on the ground, because he could have got an injury in that game, yeah, and then he could have been out for a while. So I agree with you. Spurs need to get that signing wrapped up here before Crystal Palace play on Thursday for me.
Yeah, but I don't think it's Spurs. This is the thing. I don't think this is Spurs that are not wrapping the deal up. From what we're hearing, we're ready to wrap it up. This is Palace. So as I said to you earlier, Philly, when you messaged me, all of the reports and by the way, I'm hearing from people who know his agent and stuff like that apparently Eze wanted to play in the Charity Shield, but had spoken to Spurs before that and is ready to go. He's good to go. Hence the big show of goodbye at Stamford Bridge the other day. I don't think this is us. I don't think this is, because this isn't a difficult deal for Daniel Levy to get done. Daniel Levy has paid 55 plus 5 for players before. This isn't like a world record fee. We're not negotiating with Real Madrid for Rodrigo or for Bellingham, or I don't see why this wouldn't. I think this is Parish. I don't know if any of you agree with me. I think this is Parish. I genuinely do.
Yeah, that's a suggestion.
They want their replacement in, yeah. So I can understand they want their replacement in. I'm just hoping that the El Khanous bid for them, yeah, because that's where Crystal Palace should be buying, yeah, El Khanous. Right. I hope that signing is wrapped up and done, yeah, so that we can get Eze in as quick as possible. Because the more time that Eze has here, working with Thomas Frank, the more he can get to know the system and integrate into the squad. And that's the reason that we signed players early, so they can use pre-season accurately, yeah, to be able to get players to integrate in the squad. Because right now, yeah, whoever comes in between now and the end of the close of the window are going to have trouble integrating to the squad anyway. So we're going to be on the back foot.
There you go. So Paul O'Keefe has just said 9 minutes ago, it's on Palace now. Everything ready to go our end. And that's what I've heard for the last week. I've heard that the last week Spurs are ready to sign the deal and get the player done. I think the player's ready as well. What I would suggest is the more important breaking news will be the breaking news that we see for El Khanous to Palace. Yep. I think when you see El Khanous to Palace, I think that's as big a reason for us to go live as this. Look, I don't want that. If we pull off a deal like this, it's shrouded in hate and negativity, and I feel like these types of signings don't come around very often. And Eze is the one that single-handedly every Spurs fan all year, guys, right? I come on here and I go, pause. I always jump on stream and say, what about so-and-so? Yeah, but he's not Eze. What about this player? I'd rather Eze. You're like, okay, cool, but not everyone's Eze. Then when you get to the Eze deal and it's like, yeah, but it's what we should be doing. It's, yeah.
Bro, it's been 2 years, Savio. Will he, won't he? Will he, won't he?
It sucks the life out of you.
Exactly. That's the thing. And that drama's been going on for years now, Savio. And finally,
but it's not. See, Philly, I'm going to back Spurs on this. Clip this, people. I'm going to back Levy and Spurs on this. So last year, Eze was offered as a possibility to Tottenham, yeah, and Angepostecoglou didn't want Eze, right? So when we're hearing all the rumours, oh my God, Levy didn't get Eze and he was there for the taking. Ange didn't want Eze because Eze doesn't fit the Angepostecoglou style of football, and he doesn't suit it, right? There's a huge difference. The problem is we're living in a day and age, and twats like me don't help this because I'm live every day going, oh my God, who's going to sign, right? But back in the day, talked about it earlier, Philly. Oh, boys, we're all of age to remember the teletext era, right? We're all of age to remember that. I'm not putting anyone down. Right? Sorry, we're all of age, right?
No, we're all just at 25.
Yeah. Like back in the day, when a deal like this happened, you didn't get any of the, oh my God, my club's talking to who? Oh, what? There's a medical tomorrow. Oh, what? What? It was teletext, Spurs sign Klinsmann. You're like, what? Where did that come from? Now, the problem is we hear every bit of news. Everyone's an ITK. Everyone is giving a different bit of information. I've heard that we're 3 million away. I've heard that we're 5 million away. Oh, I've heard it's not actually that. It's the sell-on clause. I've heard the player wants guarantees of his wife to have a free car. I don't know, all of this stuff. But because of that, we then go, it's 2 years. Is it? Is it 2 years? I've never seen us put in a bid for Eze before.
Right, Savio, yeah. It might not be 2 years with Tottenham doing it, but it's been 2 years with the fan base doing it, bro. Coming and going. And like you say, yeah, it's reporters like Alistair Gold. It's some fans doing factual statements of, we are going to sign Eze. We've had it for 2 years straight, dude. It's been jarring, I can't lie here. So now Spurs are finally getting the deal done. Fair play to that, yeah. And fair play to the fact that I wanted Eze for a while back. So now they're finally signing Eze. I'm not going to scream and shout and condemn the club for it. I'm going to give them their reward. They're finally buying a player that I wanted to get a long time ago. I wanted Eze, yeah, when Spurs were buying Maddison. I said Eze was levels above Maddison because of the way that he drives the ball. He's not just creative, like a creative midfielder. He does more than that. He can actually be a box-to-box if I'm looking at him correctly. So there's more assets to his games than someone like Maddison for me. That's what I look at when I look at Eze. So he is levels above what Spurs usually target. So when I say that, yeah, fair play to Tottenham Hotspur for going there and doing what they did. Fair play for signing him. 55 plus 5 million to make 60 million, yeah, when that was underneath his release clause, that leaves more money to buy more players. So that means Tottenham have no excuses to go and buy another player, because that means you've got money there to go buy a player. So I had to bake that into the equation. And then we have to sell players as well, Savio, so you have to put that money into the equation. So I'm looking at it all fundamentally and thinking, you've done a good job so far in the players that have come in. Now I want to see the players go out, and I want to see certain aspects of the squad worked upon. My target this year was not about specific players, but the areas in the pitch that Spurs needed to work upon. Because there were holes all last season there in vital areas of that pitch that I looked upon. That number 6 role was key this year. The right wing position here, we've had a problem with that for years. The left wing here, now Son is gone. We could have a problem on that side, but then we spent £40 million on Tail, who's practically is a left winger that we've been told. Then we've got Takai that's come in for £5 million. Fair play, yeah. He's a young player. He's gonna grow and mature this season, and hopefully in a couple of years, if he's good enough, Spurs will flip him for money. And then we've got Danzo in the team. So they've worked on the defense, they've worked on the midfield, you've worked on strengthening the attack. So you've worked in most areas, but there's still key points in that squad that we have to work upon. And we still have places in that squad here where one injury and we'll still be up the wall, Savio. And we're playing all these games this year, including Champions League games, dude. So we have to factor that all in. And I don't want to hear injuries are an excuse this year, because we heard that last year and the year before that.
Yeah, look, listen, guys, I completely understand. I completely understand the frustration. I am frustrated as well. I speak to some of you personally away from YouTube, and you know my frustration with Spurs. I just think that we've now got to it, and maybe Daniel Levy made this rod for his own back, but we're now getting to the point where people are not understanding the intricacies of transfer dealings and blaming everything on one man. I just don't think it's very fair. I think if it was down to Spurs,
do you want to get to that point, though, Savio? I'm not being nasty.
You sound like you're flip-flopping.
No, I want to get to a question.
Well, hang on. Whoa, Philly, 1 second. Whoa. Dude, go. If you're going to shoot for the king, make sure you hit him. Go for it. Go for that again.
No, I'm just saying, it does sound to me like a little bit you're trying to make mistakes. I didn't hear you speak about these sorts of things a few weeks ago when you were saying, where are our signings? Why are we not bringing people over the line? Why are we not bringing this person in, that person in? It just seems to me now that
we are, aren't we?
Yeah, but just because it's gone right now, it sounds like we're, oh, well done, this, that, and the other. I'm just saying, those excuses weren't being made 2 weeks ago, were they not?
2 weeks ago, we weren't in talks with Eze.
Well, there were still rumours of it, wasn't there?
But rumours and being in talks with someone are two very different things. When you're saying flip-flopping, there's a huge difference between me saying, right, where are the signings? The moment I then see Spurs are in talks with Eze, I get it. This is going to be difficult. You've got Steve Parish and Daniel Levy in a room together. I mean, it's like trying to put a husband and ex-wife together, trying to sort out their belongings and expecting that deal's going to be sorted out in half an hour. Like it's not going to happen. So when you're saying flip-flopping, I've always said deals are difficult. My frustration with Spurs is that we leave everything to the last minute. So I understand there will be some players that don't want to move at different times. I get that. My frustration will be now is if Savio is to not happen, for example, that's fine. Because 2 weeks ago, no one mentioned Savio, did they? No one. My issue isn't that they can't get Savio over the line. My issue with the football club will now move to, it didn't work. You gave it a go. What's your plan B? What's plan C? That's what I want to see. Not, Savio. Cool. You can't get it over the line. It's not your fault. No one's going to have a go at you. Right. Spurs have bid for, I'm just spitballing. Spurs have bid for Matoma. Spurs have bid for XY. That's all I want to see, is that we don't get to the end of the window and go, we tried for a left winger.
Which we will.
Yeah, but it's like Morgan Gibbs White, yeah. How many weeks do we waste not doing anything else in the background? That was wasted weeks and we already, and I said this to Savio this morning, yeah, right? Really, the window for Tottenham started in July, yeah? Right, so how many weeks did we waste chasing Morgan Gibbs White, yeah, and not have anything in the background? Never wasted windows where we could have fixed the squad up, bro, but we didn't do that this year. We just sat there doing nothing. But hopefully, now that time, yeah, we might have that Eze was in that time or something like that. But that time was wasted time in the window for me. But I don't look at it and bash Spurs on that alone. I have to bake that into my ideology at the end of the window. I have to put that into perspective at the end of the window and judge it correctly at the end of the window. It's no point judging the window right now.
Philly, I don't disagree, but all I ever ask is, if you go for a player and don't get him, at Spurs, we focus all our energy on one thing. So the problem with our fan base, Philly, is we heard Savio, right? So now everyone's just gone Savio. I don't mind. Listen, I love Savio, but if that deal doesn't get done, I'm asking the question, cool, what next? Now, what next? You couldn't get it done. You've got 2 weeks of the window to go. Now, I don't know, Philly. For all we know, right now, Lang, Paratici, all of them could be out there speaking to Akalush. They could be speaking to Matoma. They could be speaking to Zagrova. I'm just chucking names. They could be speaking to all these players, juggling plates, waiting for, right, the Savio deal, is it 100% off? It is, right. Boom. There's
Yeah, what's the
55.
backup?
Right. So but we don't know. Now, if we get to the end of the window, yeah, now, but bearing in mind, I much prefer this to be done earlier in the window. If we get to the end of the window and the excuse is we tried for a left winger, then I'm firmly with my man Benji. We get to the end of the window and it is we tried. Nah, you've had all summer.
That's right.
So it's a
But hold on,
risky strategy.
can we just
It's a
can
risky
we look at
strategy.
Savio just a bit more?
Sure.
What Savio? Okay, so 11 goals in La Liga. We know. Girona, I can't remember exactly his stats, but I'm sure he was double
Yeah,
figures.
he had good stats in Girona, yeah.
Well over double figures, right? Okay. And Manchester City. I mean, admittedly, it was his first season. You know, I think 11 or 12 goal involvements, something along them lines. I know in the Premier League he got 8 assists and 1 goal. For all intensive purposes, right? Given stats and all that, Savio, whatever you want to call him, has a very high probability of being world class at some point in his career. Now, I don't know if that's outlandish saying that, but if you are Tottenham Hotspurs, right, and the average going rate for a good player these days is 60 million, right? So it's not a huge figure, it's the going rate. If you're Tottenham Hotspurs going into a deal for someone like Savio with like 45, 55 million, then you are out of your mind. So when we see us going in for that sort of player, you expect us to pay a certain amount of money. Is 70 million too much?
Hang on.
It's
But where
definitely the
did
higher
this?
echelon.
Hang on.
My point is though, Sav, you're saying, oh, well done, you know, if it wasn't to go through, but we went for someone else's, oh, well done, you tried. There should be no tried about it. If we're
That's
looking
not.
at
Hang on.
these sort of players, you should
That's not
know.
what I. That's not what I said. I wouldn't say well
Sorry,
done.
I
You
might have
tried.
misheard you then. Go on.
No, it is okay. That deal's not got done. That happens. What next? That's business. Sometimes deals don't get done. You move on. What's the next choice? But Benji, when you're saying 70 million, right? It's not my money either. Yeah, sure. Go and spend 70 million. How much did Man City pay? Now, I know this is slightly skewed because it was their sister company, right?
27. I know. Yeah.
27 million. So if Daniel Levy, right, I'm going to stick up for Levy for a minute. If Daniel Levy rocks up to Man City 12 months later and says there's 55 million pounds, that is double what you paid for him, and we're going, oh, he's lowballing. I mean, he's just added on 100% transfer fee in 12 months. Like, that's not lowballing. Then the game starts. How much do you want? How much is he worth? Will you let him go? Well, we will, but we want this player first. Now the agent's flown over from Brazil. This is the point. There's so many moving parts. There's so many moving parts.
I'm going to defend you here, Sapa. I'm going to say this to you as well, yeah? All right, and I had this conversation with Danny as well. What makes you think if Tottenham do agree with Savio, yeah, that somebody else doesn't look at that, yeah, and think, you know what, you've agreed to deal with Manchester City for the player, yeah, and then we'll just come in and swoop in and buy and just get him from them, because now we know what the fee is, yeah, that Man City want exactly, yeah, right? We can just come in and swoop in. And I said this to Danny about Atalanta, yeah, and their midfielder, Edison. Yeah. What makes you think that Man City, that someone doesn't come in for Atalanta, sees Tottenham agree a fee with him and just swoop in and just buy Edison from Atalanta, and they're in a better position than Tottenham Hotspurs? People have to understand where Tottenham are and understand that Tottenham finished 17th last year, and even these players coming in now are taking a risk, because we were down in the dumps last year, right? We had a lot of the players we had here suffered because there was no structure. That's why a lot of the players here are standing out now. Look at the likes of Sa. Finally, he's not running around like a headless chicken. He's actually got a position in the pitch here to go out there and actually do his thing. Because he's a box-to-box midfielder, but that poor man's been a headless chicken for the last 2 years. I'm looking at the likes of there's quite a few other players that you look at them and think you haven't had anything. So now finally, yeah, I'm looking at Tottenham Hotspurs and thinking, right, you need to have that kind of. You seem to have a manager who knows what he's doing. You seem to have a manager who's flexible. You seem to have the right type of players coming in. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give them their praise for that. And I'm also gonna say, all right, I'm looking at the field for Savio, and There are other players out there, there are other left wingers out there. So there is no excuses for Spurs not having a contingency plan for Savio. And if it's not Savio, so be it. I'm not going to lose my mind because Spurs don't sign Savio. Like I said, there's loads of other left winger options out there. So there's no excuses for Spurs on that front.
I mean, yeah, but regardless of us finishing 17th, we still got the League Cup, which is worth not the League Cup, the Europa Cup, which is worth 34 million. We still got into Champions League, which is a whole bunch of money coming in. We all know how much it's worth playing in the Champions League. But I do agree with your point. I mean, this is what I'm worried about with Tottenham, where we don't pull the trigger. You know, we are alerting other clubs to Savino's availability. Listen, I'm just going to throw this name out there. Garnacho. They want to pay what? 50, 60, 70 million for Garnacho? I'm sorry, but for me, from what I've seen, Savino is head and shoulders and has a much higher ceiling. So you're absolutely right, Philly, when you say, oh, yeah, we're alerting other teams, because that's exactly what we're doing. But Spurs don't ever pull the trigger. This is all I'm trying to say.
I don't agree on sorry. Listen, I will knock them whenever. When you're saying not pulling the trigger, explain that to me. Not pulling the trigger on what with this particular Savio deal?
This is how much we want. This is how much we want. Bang. Okay, there's the money. However the deal's structured, I don't give a shit. As long as you agree to a fee, which is what they're after. What do they want? 65 million, I think they want for him.
Well, the reports are saying that they want 80 million euros, which is what, 71 million quid, right? That will be our record transfer. When you're saying we're alerting other clubs, again, I'm gonna say this thing again. Again, please, I don't mean to sound arrogant. This is nonsense when we're talking about alerting other clubs. You do realise that for Spurs to have known that Savio would be happy to leave Man City, we would have spoken to his agent. His agent, because he's an agent, would have been putting his name around to other football clubs as well, saying, just so you know, there is a potential he's going to be moving. That's how football agents and intermediaries work. Like, alerting other clubs is part of their game, not ours. I just think we're trying to... Everything you've done since you come on, Benji, is knocking Tottenham. Everything. Yeah?
I don't get to do it too often, Sav. Leave me alone. No, let me have this.
Sure, but when we're saying we haven't pulled the trigger, at the moment, I don't see that this is on Spurs, that one. And by the way, it doesn't mean the deal's dead. The deal, just because a few ITKs have said it, doesn't mean that the deal can't go ahead. But why would his agent fly to the UK?
No, Brazil? I fully understand that, but don't forget, I'm basing a lot of what I'm saying off past incidences. You know, where we've not.
Guys, I'm going to have to drop, but continue the conversation. Thank you for your time, and let's try and be happy.
Much love, dude. Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Just on that, can I just throw this out there, Sav? You're absolutely right. I have come on here and I have knocked. I am happy about Eze. I'm sorry if I have not come across like I am. I am. I'm just not. I feel like it's something we should have done rather than we've gone out and done something truly special. That's my point to Eze. But yeah, look, with Savio, Spurs fans, and you know this yourself, we have PTSD from a lot of dealings in the past. And I think that's why we base a lot of our emotion on current situations, because of how bad we have been in the past.
Sure, but we can't apply this logic to every deal. Every deal is very different. So if you look at the Eze deal, it's very different to the Savio deal. The Eze deal has got its complications because of Palace, because of Parish. Some clubs will allow the player to go. Other clubs want a replacement in first. That's how Palace are playing it. Right? That's how Palace are playing it. They want a replacement in. Is that bloody annoying? Absolutely, it's bloody annoying. But that is what they're doing. Right? They want a replacement in first. The Savio deal seems to be a lot more complicated. That seems to be a Man City power struggle at the top of Man City as to whether they want to let him go and what they want to let him go for. If you've got the CEO or whoever is the director saying, I'm not letting him go, it doesn't matter what Spurs offer. But there has to be a limit as to what we can offer, right? You can't just keep going, right? So what? The Man City owner says, I want £80 million. Now suddenly you're going, hang on. This is a lot of money now. By the way, I like Savio, but now all of a sudden you're talking about 80 million. And then what fans will do is go, all right, you've just signed Eze for 60 and Savio for 80, 140 million, plus the 55 for Kudos, plus the Tell, plus the this Danso, plus Takai. And then fans turn around and go, so where's this other centre back? Well, you know,
never have to cover.
But my point is, Philly, that money's going to be used up. You've got to listen. I don't like it when Sean talks about opportunity costs that much, but he is right on this occasion. You can't just bend over and pay anything for everyone. So for me, the bigger issue isn't how much is Savio going to cost or what are they trying to play hardball for. It's, is there another option? And if there is, work on it behind the scenes, which I'm sure, touch wood, I'm hoping they are. You've got to hope with 2 weeks to go that they are, right?
Right, Sava, I'm going to praise your friend here on the Spurs 5 for the first time. You can clip this as well, and I hope he watches this. Yeah, thank you very much for challenging me because I actually learned business here and learned ethics of business and stuff like that. So thank you very much for him. Yeah, right. So I could do it from a balanced point of view now. Yeah, and I can actually look at it. Spurs need to sell players, mate. Because even to conform to PSR, we need to sell players, and this is why. If you look at some of my chats, I was saying, yeah, I'm willing to take a significant loss on most of these players that we have in the squad here that I deem not good enough. Yeah, but that's still my subjective argument that I deem not good enough, yeah, for Spurs. But that what I might decide, yeah, might be different to Thomas Frank. But I would use the 2 goals from the Pigeon on the weekend, yeah, and use that to boost up a prize fee for him. I'm taking 30 million for him I'm taking a 30 million loss on him, but I want him out because the more that money that Spurs can make, the more they can use that money to fix up the team, which is why I'm willing to let any player go if it puts money back into the team so we can use it to boost the team and to get ourselves better.
But Philly, since Gareth Bale, when have we ever done that, mate? That's the problem I've got.
Yeah,
since
but
Gareth
sometimes
Bale, when was the last time we actually did that? We all know what we should do. We never do, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but sometimes in business you got to take a loss. You've got to take a loss. Sometimes, yeah, you got to take a loss to get the win. Sometimes, yeah. Look at West Ham a few years ago, yeah, with the signing they made of Sebastian Heller, yeah. They bought him for £40 million, yeah, and they sold him only a few years later for 20 million because it was best for the squad. Yeah, they got rid of him and they had that money in and they used that to better the side, right, and buy players who actually wanted to be there and actually fitted into the squad. But at Tottenham Hotspurs, yeah, we keep players too long. It's like Roger Sanchez every time. You know when you watch that video, yeah, with the big heart and you're carrying it around. It's like that every time at Spurs. It's give him another chance. Give him another chance. This club isn't ruthless enough for me. It's not. It's like a charity. It's like every player comes in there and then they stay for 2 or 3 or 4 years or 5 years. And we've even got one that's been here 11 years.
But Philly, let me again trying to play devil's advocate with this. And by the way, I'd be more than happy for the Pigeon to be sold. You know I would. Right? We've talked about this, right? But the thing is, when we heard the other day was that he's turned down 2 offers this year, right? The problem is the player has to want to go. And if Richie doesn't want to go, you've got a massive problem. How do you force him out? Now, we're not in a position where we can go, right, you're not going to play any games at all. You're not even going to be on the bench. So we don't have the squad for it. 2, he's not that terrible that we need to do that to him. So how do you get him out? How do you get him to leave if he truly doesn't want to? And if the bids are coming from Turkey or Saudi and he doesn't want to move there, how do you get him gone?
You say it's a World Cup here, yeah, and you're going to struggle for game time. It's a World Cup here. If you want to be in the Brazil squad for the World Cup, which one?
But will he struggle for game time in Spurs' squad? It's not like we've got a top striker in front of him, is it?
No, that's the problem, though, isn't it, Safa? But this is the kind of statement you've got to say to him. Look, you're going to struggle for game time. It's a World Cup here, right? Leaving and going to finding a club here that will play you week in and week out, so you're in the Brazil squad at the end of the year for the World Cup here, right? Would be in your best benefit, and let's see what he's got, or and this is a sadness of it, yeah, is that a lot of players will go into the last year of their contracts ever, and Spurs won't be able to sell them. And what they'll do is they'll tear up their contract, and then you lose money that way anyway. So it's a game of two. It's a catch-22 really. But I would put down the say, look, you're not going to play if you leave or you don't play. It's up to you what you want to do. But again, Spurs are not in that position to do that. But that's the position that you should be in.
And it feels like we're not ruthless enough to even do that anyway. I mean, realistically, you know, in the old days, players like that would have been shoved in the reserves and said, you'll disappear until you're sold. I mean, it does make me laugh, the flip-flop. The flip-flop I have seen on Richarlison recently makes me feel sick. Hey, did you see Sky Sports? You have not Sky Sports, Talk Sport with Jamie O'Hara. I think Richarlison is going to score more goals than Gyökeres.
Oh gosh.
What's going on here?
Look,
where are we? What's the date? What year is this? What's going on?
This is what fans listen. As you saw, anyone who saw me arguing this last night, you know, listen. Do I think Richarlison's the worst striker I've ever seen? No. Do I want Richarlison as the Spurs number 9? No. If a bid came in, would I miss him if he went? No. But there are people that want to continually make excuses for him. I mean, yesterday started off with he scored in 9 home games in a row. Then it turned into, 9 home games when he started. And then I'm looking and going, okay, so do away games not count? When you come on as a sub, does it not count? Oh, but this is the fittest we've seen him. Based on what? Like what? So, look, I don't disagree. But look, Barry, Nick, whatever your name is today. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How is everyone? It's been a minute. Been a while.
It has. I know it's good. We're not signing players like Emerson Royale anymore, so it's getting better at the club. Nick, where are you at with all of this? With all of this Eze stuff?
It's funny, right? Because I messaged you last night and we were talking. I said, "How has anything changed?" And you were just like, "It's just the same. It's the same thing every year." Like it's. But look, if we are to believe what we are to believe, and Eze is nearly done, then what more can we ask for? We want to sign good players, like you said. You wanted to sign a Polina, you wanted to sign a Kudus. We've done it. We want to sign an Eze. What can we do? We can either say thank you very much, well done, we've finally done it, or we can just be like Lubo and just be all depressed, like, oh, Levy's fault, which I saw him do it, and I get it and I understand it. But at some point, you need to say, like with Ange and like Philly, I saw what you said. Like with Ange, he got us a trophy. What are we going to say? Oh, rubbish. No, we have to say thank you. Thank you very much. You've done what you've done. Now, what you always say, Sava, what's next? So if it's not Savio, what's next? If it's not Eze, what's next? We can't just think that it's just the plan after the plan off. It's just this one person. And it was interesting, right? Because Danny, and I missed this the other week, Danny was complaining about people being late, like Tottenham being late to the party. Danny Kyriakou is the biggest fraud about being late for anything. And he has the audacity to criticize people for being late to things. Unbelievable. But yeah, look, let's just get it done now. It looks like we've had it already. Eze wanted to play the Charity Shield, do whatever he wanted to do. Let him do what he wanted to do. But let's just get this done. Get him ready for Man City, because it was only Burnley at the weekend, and Spurs fans were like losing their mind. Oh, Richarlison's back. Oh, we won 3-0. Oh, this is amazing. It's Burnley, guys, right? So.
Big up Harrison Royale. Yeah. Let me take a little piece from you. You said something about Danny Kyriakou. Isn't that the same Danny Kyriakou who's defending Basuma for being late and saying that Basuma should have been playing?
That's who he was defending for being late. That's
what I mean. Hold on a minute. No. Let's have this right. No. Listen, all he was trying to say is the drop off between Gray and Basuma.
No.
I'm not in a final. Is what he was trying to say.
Kyriakou was trying to defend Yves Basuma, who, by the way, was an hour and a half late for a 2-hour session. It wasn't 2 minutes. It was an hour and a half. And to sit there and go, oh, Just let him play so he win a trophy.
Yeah, but Danny Kiriakou is the king of being late himself.
That's
Of
what I
course, he's
mean.
going to defend other people that are late, right? Like it's just ingrained in him. Honestly, I've got so many bones to pick with that fraud Kiriakou. So many bones to pick with him. But look, it is what it is, right? It is what it is at the moment. A deal is not done. As usual, we've got one set of reporters saying a deal has been done in principle. We've got other reporters saying, no, it hasn't. Apparently, there's more talks. I'll be honest. I mean, aren't Parish and Levy getting bored of seeing each other? Like, sitting down and talking like, I don't know whether they're just having a good old natter over a nice whiskey or a brandy or something, but it needs a conclusion. It does need a conclusion, doesn't it? It does. It does.
How are we sitting here after all this time, even considering that players aren't going to come in over the line? Look at Morgan Gibbs-White. We had a here we go from Fabrizio Romano, right? A here we go. And when you get that, it's a done deal, baby. That may as well be a club showing them off with the shirt. But unfortunately, being at Spurs, that wasn't the case. So right now with Eze, I don't blame people for being a bit, well, we haven't actually signed him yet. There is no here we go. There is no actual agreement in place. It's a verbal thing. Who knows? No, what do you expect with Tottenham Hotspurs? Like, this is where we are as fans right now. We're like, oh, Willie, well, if this was any other club, done deal, brilliant. Thank you very much. This is what I'm trying to say, mate.
Yeah, but Ben, using your terminology here, right? Let me use it again. Let me think about what I was going to say. Right. This oh gosh, sorry. Go on. My mind just went blank. I'll get it back in a second.
I hate that when that happens. Go on.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's all sit here and wait till Philly remembers.
It's really uncomfortable.
You know, but guys, I think now, like this, like it's just like there was that tweet. Oh, it's 0.0001% closer, right? It's getting closer all the time, but I think forget about what O'Keefe's saying, because he was saying that everything's being done, and then I think he's just clutching at straws. But surely, like you said, Sav, earlier, if Palace are looking for the replacement, they get the replacement, then everything falls into place, no? Or is it?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I mean, look, this again, it depends how much credit you want to give Ben Jacobs. Has said, Fee agreed with Palace now, accelerating efforts to find a replacement. Eze will train as normal as he awaits for Palace. Talks ongoing over Bilal El Khanous to remain one of the leading options. You saw me say it earlier, Nick. I truly believe once you get the here we go on El Khanous, I think you get the here we go on Eze. I'm not saying it's right, and not all transfers work like that. And that is the problem of when you go late in the transfer window.
Yeah, but it's not far off Atalanta and signing Romero, though, is it? Because Atalanta at the time said they needed to buy a replacement for Romero, and that's why the Romero deal took a while, because they had to buy a replacement before we could even get Romero in the door. And I agree with you on that. Spurs do take long. And here it is. I got it now. I remember it now, Ben, just for you, yeah? Right. Now, people who listen to ITKs, yeah? Right. Unfortunately, don't listen to Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy sat on the chair, yeah? What was it, 3 or 4 years ago? And he said, believe nothing you hear in the press. Only believe it when they're at Hotspur Way holding up the shirt. So once you've heard the man at the top of the club telling you, do not listen to ITKs or any journalists, listen to only when they're at Hotspur Way holding up the shirt, why am I listening to any ITK or journalist? Why am I taking them any seriously? I need to see that player at Hotspur Way with the shirt in their hand, and then I'll definitely know they are a Spurs player. Otherwise, I don't believe it. I want to see it. I want to see them at Hotspur Way, and that's the way I've always been. Because I listened to the chairman, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take your statement, and I'm going to ride on it.
Yeah, fair play.
I get it. But do you know what? Imagine if we didn't do anything or talk about anything until we saw them in a Spurs shirt. We'd have no content. No one would have any YouTube shows to view and watch, would they? Let's be brutally honest. Like when people have a go at YouTubers and go, "Oh, it's clickbait," well, why do people watch? Like, I haven't said anything clickbait. I was told the same as you lot. The Spurs have reached a verbal agreement with Palace. We've gone live, and then it turns out, well, have we or haven't we? We don't know. We're all sitting here in the dark. But Nick, surely at this stage, now, I mean, I know everyone's going to point me in the direction of Morgan Gibbs-White. but surely this has got so much water under that bridge that this can't collapse, can it? Surely this is going through.
Well, we thought, well, I don't think we've ever been as close as we have been with Eze, right? Obviously, last summer, obviously there was the talk and the box and his family there and everyone after the game and everything else, and everyone was just expecting it to happen. Of course, this is Tottenham. Nothing surprises me. It could all come crumbling down. I don't think it'll come crumbling down in the same way that the Morgan's Gibbs White thing did, because that was just weird, right? When he was at the side of the pitch and Mr. Marinakis, and I was like, it's like someone was literally had the old sniper crosshairs on the back of his head, and if you say the wrong thing, mate, you're finished. Do you know what I mean? So that's just weird. I don't care if Wolfie's here listening. I don't care what Wolfie will sit there and say. No, it's not. It's because he wanted to stay at a bigger club and we've got our stars and all that nonsense. But look, and Vindaloo, I saw your little comment there, mate. He wouldn't get into Arsenal's team. You want to be very quiet after what you served up on Sunday, young man. But look, it can, it will, it has. It has done in the past, but if we get this over the line, and it doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter if it takes a day, a week, as long as it's done before the end of the transfer window. Then that's all that matters, right? Because we've got we're going to see how good Frank Ball is and how good we will against Man City. Because trust me, they look bloody good. And it's not the Man City that
you be worried
previous season. You know?
You're saying it don't matter when it gets done. Wouldn't you be worried if you see Eze lining up for Crystal Palace on Thursday night in the Conference League? Won't it be one of those where you're like, oh my God, what if he gets a tackle? What if he goes down with an?
That's the same with everything. That's like the same if Gay is going to Liverpool. I don't know why people go, oh, he should go on strike like Isaac, and he should do all this and he should do all that.
What whistle?
It's if, buts, and maybes and everything. He could get injured. He couldn't get injured. He might get injured.
No, what worse than that? Hold on a minute. Are you not more concerned with other issues? Like, for instance, if we don't get this deal wrapped up quick, do you see Spurs dealing with any other position until it's wrapped up? Because I don't. I mean,
because this deal. Hang on. So are we saying that this deal is prohibiting us from having talks with any other players in another position?
It seemed like that with the Morgan Gibbs White thing, and I called that out as well. I said, this is going to set us back.
We've been in talks with Man City for Savio at the same time we're in talks with Palace for Eze. So that can't be true, can it?
I'm just saying we don't seem to actually get deal. Sava, you bastard.
I'm just saying.
No, we don't seem to land deals, do we? Like, at the same sort of time. It's either we go one after the other. It never seems to be, right, we want these two players, bang, bang. It always seems to be, right, we've got to get this one over the line before we actually make our serious approach for the next one. So you say, oh, it's okay, you know, a day, a week. It concerns me personally, Barry. It really does, because the longer we take it as it just makes it's got that little thought in the back of my mind. Well, how long is it going to be for a possible left winger to come in? You know, how long is it going to be?
Are we all thinking that there is something else? Are we, or because I don't think after Eze, I don't think there is anything else.
There has to be, mate. We're not going in to another season. We're not going into this new season with Tell as our left winger. Please God, don't even. Please.
Bloody Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, but the thing is, we actually do have two left wingers there, yeah, and we actually spent £40 million already in that position already. And then there's other priority positions that have to be fixed as well. So this is the problem of spending all that money on Tell, which is why I didn't want Tell in the first place. One of the contributing reasons I didn't want Tell is because buying him for 40 million means that we're restricted in other areas, because you have to look at where the money's coming from. So,
but Phil, we haven't paid 40 million though. We ain't, but that's just the Harry Kane money, mate. I don't think we're actually paying a damn penny for Tell.
Yeah, I know we're not paying a penny yet, but we could have used that.
Hang on. That's not quite how money works. That's not quite how money works. When we're saying it's the Harry Kane money, it's still money that we've spent, because it's still money that's coming off our that's not coming into our club that would have come into our club without, right?
Mm.
Does that make sense? So, like, if Bayern weren't getting Tell, that money would have been coming to our club. So, either way you look at it, we would have had that money to spend. But what they're saying is basically it's taken away from what Bayern Munich owe us. I'm with Philly on this, by the way. I hate the fact that we signed Tell. Nothing personal against him, but that 40-odd million, whatever it was, could have gone towards an Akalush.
Paulinho, and getting that over the line, and then you'll have the money.
Savio, you know, look, it is what it is. I'm really I'm going to try and remain positive on this. I think Eze will get done, and I do think we're going to go for another one. I do. Now, who the other one is, I don't know, but the other one needs to be of a good standard. We've got Johnson, Tell, Odebert. We've got these mediocre types. We now need the next player to be with Kudus and Eze. We need them to be that level. If you've got 3 players at that level, imagine Kudus, Eze, and Savio running at people. That will be frightening, guys.
It will, but do you honestly think we're going for someone else on that? If we don't get Eze, we'll go on that for someone else.
Yeah.
Solomon, Tell, Odebert, Johnson can play on the left. No,
Solomon will be sold.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon will be sold. So will Brian Hill. They'll both be sold. I think they'll probably use Tell as more of a backup striker. And I think Odebert will probably be used as more of a backup right winger. So I think they will get another one. Listen, Thomas Frank's not an idiot. Thomas Frank knows what he wants. He knows what this team needs. He knows the level he's at now. And listen, I think if they get Eze done, I think we've got to trust them, right? Especially with Frank at the helm. The fact that he's gone and got Paulinho. We all wanted a Paulinho. He got him. We wanted a right winger in Kudus. Got him. If we get Eze, we got him. I trust that they're going to have to. If they don't, we can still say it's a good window, but not. It was a good window, but not pushing it out. If you get Eze and Savio now, it goes down as the best window for me in the Premier League era.
Hands down.
Do you think there was any? I don't know whether you've touched on this or spoken about this. Do you think there was any coincidence that Vivian Lewis was there next to our friend Daniel at the weekend? Do you think he's under the scope, under the being pushed to one side, and she hasn't just turned up. She hasn't just turned up and just gone, "Oh, I just fancy watching Tottenham." Do you know what I mean? There's obviously something going on in the background.
You've been talking to Lubo again with this conspiracy theories, Barry.
Well, what was Lubo saying?
That one does, man.
Lubo probably I don't know said that whatever Lubo says it all comes back. Lubo's not able to get his full weekly shop or gets a replacement item. It's Levy's fault. Do you know what I mean? Lubo. Oh, we got a lemon. Oh, I didn't want a lemon. I wanted a lime. That's Daniel Levy's fault.
Look, guys, I'm gonna do a couple of super chats and I'm going to end it there. I was planning to go live tonight at 10. So I still will. And 6 hours is a long time in football. So we'll see what else has happened between now and then. Big up to Chopped Cheese. Said, love the Spurs shirt, Sav. True fandom. Eze is 10 out of 10. Yeah, listen, I'm wearing this because I've just been doing some filming in London for debating a Manchester City fan. That's a tough, that was a tough debate when you're debating the team that have won 6 out of 8 Premier League trophies and spend whatever they want on footballers. That was a tough debate, but you'll see it when it comes out. Pause. Thank you very much, Chop Cheese. Really appreciate that. Big up to Sanctuary 7. My man said, for fuck's sake, wouldn't want Benji at my stag do, laughing my ass off.
And you super chat that as well. Cheers,
Benji.
mate.
By the way, I'll tell you what, I'll put him in the mud even more here. Benji, this time last week, called Tajani Reinders, 8 Nuri and Cherky, meh signings.
Benji, I mean, I haven't been around for a while, but I mean, I thought Phil
Coy.
Not Philly up there. Phil Coy's had some terrible takes, but Jesus Christ, that's taking the biscuit, you know.
Yeah,
the content was world-class players of Manchester City, and I just didn't think that they were out of this world. I've seen Reinders at AC Milan. I thought he was a decent player. I wasn't particularly, oh my godded by him. Alt Nori, great left back at Wolves, absolutely fine. But again, I wasn't wowed by him. I'm sorry, just because they've gone to Manchester City. It's all wow.
It's not wow. Not every player has to be wow. But if Pep Guardiola's buying you, you've got something, right? Like you've got.
For
and
sure,
by the way,
for sure.
Tajani Reinders is wow. I watched him play for Milan. That boy's a proper goal-scoring midfielder that gets back, links up play. That's a top signing. And Cherky didn't waste any time, did he, on his debut?
Knew that within 10 minutes, innit?
Yeah. Let's see on Saturday if they're met. Hopefully they're met against Tottenham. Big up to you, Sanctuary 7. Don't worry, we can mud Benji all the time on this channel. It's absolutely fine. Big up to Jamal Duncan. Big up to you, Jamal. Said, we came to City saying we'd overpay for the player. They don't want to let him go, so we have to overpay to make them. Can't say you'd give them an offer they can't refuse, then haggle. Benji is right. Yeah, but the thing is, Jamal, if they don't want to sell the player, they don't have to, right? That's the point. By the way, Man City, again, this is where we don't know what happened. Maybe Spurs approached them with the £50 million bid or whatever it was, without City, setting an asking price. Maybe they then turn around and go, no, come back with something better. All right, 60. No, we don't want. Maybe they're waiting for something ridiculous. We don't know. This is the problem. I'm not saying that you won't get him if you pay X amount, but how high are you willing to go?
But didn't you say the agent would have been putting his name out there? So would the agent not have been saying a ballpark figure?
Yeah, but the agent's not in charge of what Man City charge. The agent's
the player
in charge
usually knows what a club is asking for them.
But the agent could turn around and say whatever he wants. The agent could turn around and go, I think you're in the region of 60 to 70, right? Man City could turn around and go, what do you mean? We want 80.
Well, if that is the case, what was our first bid, mate? 45 million.
Mate, I don't know. They only paid 26 million for him a year ago. That's still 20 million increase in 1 year.
But like you said, that's a little bit because of where they bought him from. It's their sister company. So I mean, he's going to be significantly cheaper. I mean, in all honesty, how much? And this is just a very quick question. How much would you pay for? How much would you say Savio is worth? I would
pay between 60 and 70 million, but I don't blame Spurs for going in lower.
Yeah, but 45 is a little bit.
Huh?
It's 45 is a little bit Daniel Levy, though, isn't it? It's a little bit of a mistake. That's like going in for Eze at 40 million. It's a little bit, mate, isn't it? Really,
mate. But the thing is, it's hearsay. We don't know what the exact figures were. We don't know what he was told. We don't know the terms. Look, it is what it is. At the end of the day, if people are saying overpay, sure. But listen, not many clubs will just go in and overpay. We say this all the time. How many clubs go in and overpay?
And the problem with overpaying him is he's got less money in the transfer market to buy other areas as well. And this is what fans need to bake into their idea of saying go and overpay for a player. You also have to fact sometimes you do need to overpay for a player if you need that specific player. But also bear in mind that if you do overpay for a player, that also leaves you restricted in other areas of the transfer market. So it has a knock-on effect anyway.
If you look at overpaying for a player, you could argue Man City overpaid for Jack Grealish when you look at the business that they've done since. Haaland, Cherky, Ain't Nuri, Reinders, that's and why can is it the pull? The pull is Pep, the pull is trophies, right? For Man City. It can't be Manchester because that ain't a pull for anyone. No offense to anyone that lives in Manchester, but it ain't, it's not a pull, is it? Compared to what the bright lights and everywhere else from what these footballers want. I just don't. I ultimately it's what they want to pay, right? We're not going to sit there and drop 100 million on Savio just because we just want to get him done, do we?
If Spurs did drop that, sorry, Tabba. If Spurs did drop that, I'd ask questions and say, you know what? Was there no other left-sided player that you could have got that was more reasonable than Savio? Because, like I said, it's a big world out there. There's enough left wingers out there that you could actually look at in the market. And so, if Spurs wanted a proper left winger, yes, they might not get Savio, but there are other left winger options out there. So that then goes down to Spurs, and did they look elsewhere, or were they just limited in their view of a left winger?
Yeah, but now the fans are being limited because now the fans have literally gone to it's Savio or nothing. Do you know what I mean? Now Savio's name has been mentioned. Everyone else doesn't compare to Savio, whereas before no one was mentioning his name. And so that's why I think, listen, it's up to Spurs. If you can't get Savio, what next? That's all I'm saying. What next? If you can't get him, you can't get him. Not every player is gettable. Look right now, we could be throwing this at Liverpool right now. Why haven't you got Isak? Not every deal is easy.
And
Why haven't Newcastle siding?
Sorry. How many other left-sided wingers with the amount of talent that Savio's got is available to Tottenham Hotspurs right now? I'll wait.
But Benji, you're saying you'll wait. How do we know who's available? This is the point. This is for the recruitment team, the scouts and the agents to discuss, isn't it? This is why agents and intermediaries all talk to each other. Because right now, I can chuck names. I can sit here and go, Matoma. I've got no way of knowing if he's available. We can all turn around and go, get Matoma. I don't know if he's available. I don't know.
I could be like Savio, I could say Tedrick Buchanan. I could say go and get Tedrick Buchanan from Inter Milan, yeah, because he was on loan last season and he had a very good loan in the Spanish league last season. Yeah, and he's still a young man and he's a good Canadian winger. I could easily say go and get him here because he'd be reasonable and it'd be a wicked upgrade on what we have currently right now. So there are left wingers out there. It's just like I said, it's limited because a lot of fans here don't watch other leagues, and unfortunately, because they don't watch other leagues here, and the scouting department themselves doesn't look like they watch other leagues very incentively. Yeah, right. They don't see them left wingers out there, so you're restricted in the market. There were bare players this summer that we could have got, yeah, like Alex Baena. He went for 40 million euros this summer from Villarreal to Atletico Madrid. So there was enough good players out there, right, in the market during the summer, but we haven't moved for that. But they're in the
what was your statement on Buchanan? An upgrade.
I would say he's an upgrade on Tell, and he's an upgrade on the other one as well, on the left-hand side.
But you've got... Can I just throw in an obvious one here as well? And again, this is where I think as fans, we all get a bit crazy. I ever thought that we can talk about Brennan, who, by the way, is a quality player, right? Ever thought that maybe he would have joined Atletico over us anyway? Or maybe Thomas Frank doesn't think he suits his system? Or maybe he doesn't want to move to the UK? Like, this is the problem. When we talk about players, we chuck out players' names. It's not about who we want. I want to know, and this is what I like so far. We know that Frank wanted Eze and Kudus and Paulinho. We know he did. He said, I wanted these players. These are, and he hasn't said that with Eze, but let's be brutally honest, right? I don't want us to just go and get anybody. I want us to get what does the manager want? What does the manager want? And we've all asked for that. Back the manager. So when we're saying there's better left wingers, there's other left wingers. I agree. So now it'll down to who have Spurs scouted that Thomas Frank wants? Who have they scouted now? Because Savio's not the only left winger in the world. I don't know about you, Nick. I didn't hear one Spurs fan mention his name all summer until that night when it was Ornstein, I think, broke it. The Spurs are in talks with City. I didn't see one.
Because it's not a signing you'd expect from Tottenham Hotspur. That's the thing. It's just not a signing you'd expect us to go after. That's why you wouldn't even hear us talk about him.
You talked about Rodrigo. You talked about Rodrigo and told me in your gut you thought we were getting Rodrigo, and that's not a player Spurs signed.
Yeah, I did say of that ilk. I thought him or maybe Eliel. I felt it. Given our situation at the time, I felt like something big was coming, and they were the two names that I threw out there, admittedly. But yeah, look, go on.
Benji, yeah, the way that you talk about Savio, yeah, wouldn't that be like Arsenal when they got Jesus, yeah, and they got Zinchenko from Man City, and how they went into that team, yeah, and they lifted the morale of that team, yeah. They had that team Arsenal finally had players, yeah, where the players in that squad already, yeah, looked at the ones of Jesus and Zinchenko having won the league at Man City, and thought, you know what, it raised the rest of the squad as well. I think that's what Spurs need as a club, yeah, them kind of players where the rest of the squad, yeah, lift themselves up to try and rival that player's ability. And we haven't had that for years. So I'm looking. That's the kind of level that I want Tottenham to raise their levels to.
But we don't have the
That's
pool that
me.
Arsenal have got. That's the problem.
No, I'm not
That's the
saying
problem.
that, bro. I'm not saying this isn't the pool yet, but even I would take the worst Man City player than the best Leicester player. Because the worst Man City player, haven't been at Man City yet. You've been in that environment where you've won trophies, you've experienced it, you've crossed the line. You're not only bringing your ability to Spurs, but you're bringing your mentality to Spurs as well. So that would upskill the rest of the squad as well, so that they can match your levels. So
Yeah,
I'm not
I
looking
get that.
at.
I agree. Listen, I just think, look, I will jump on this bandwagon if we get to the 1st of September and Spurs haven't done what they need to do. I will fully be there. At the moment, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in talks with these players. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. The fact that they're talking. I still haven't seen anyone reputable say that Savio is 100% off. I haven't seen anybody of any ilk say he's off. I've seen Guillaume Bellegay say it. Not a lot else. So we'll see. But it doesn't just have to be Savio, I think, is the main point I'm going to go with this. It doesn't just have to be Savio. Let's be fair. If they sign Mitoma, who's upset that we've signed Mitoma for a few years on the left wing?
No one.
If you got Mitoma left, Kudus right, Eze through the middle. I mean, you would have bitten my hand off for that. If I'd said that to you, Philly, beginning of the summer, Mitoma, Eze, Kudus is going to be the three behind the striker, what would you have said?
I would have said it would have been a great window, as in the attacking wise. But I also have to say, Sabo, yeah, and I'm going to hit you with this one because this is one of yours, right? And this has been long overdue, yeah. It's the optics, Sabo. It's the optics of the window as we went through the window, mate.
Agreed.
That's why it's looking a bit skew with, yeah. It's the fact that the optics of the window haven't looked good in the fact that we brought in players here at the wrong stage. Well, we brought in players, but at the wrong stages for what we needed, in the fact that they haven't given the manager time to integrate them into his system. So that's why it looks badder than it is. But I'm going to give the window is not closing.
You know, I agree, Philly. Philly, of that, you know, I agree. I would have loved all the players to have been in before the season started. Unfortunately, we're not at that stage. We're at the stage where there's 14 days of the window to. I mean, today is one of the 14 days, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're now at 13 and a half days of the transfer window to go. I agree with you, Philly. Ideally, you want them in. I think if you bring in players of the quality of Savio and Eze, I think they slot in seamlessly. They're top players. If you buy top players, you don't need as much, right? You don't need as much working. Look, we'll see. By the way, as I said, I will fully jump in on it. You've got my word, guys. If by the 1st of September at 5 p.m. when the transfer window shuts, yeah, if Spurs have not done what they need to, I will be as pissed off as every other fan. I'm just trying to be a bit balanced and give the benefit of the doubt at the moment, because everything I'm hearing is that Eze isn't our fault, that it is Palace. And as I've said, I'll make a bet with any of you if you want right now. I bet you the moment we see, here we go for El Canoes to Leicester, I bet you within 3 hours, you start getting all the news from Ornstein and Romano that Eze is a here we go to Tottenham. I'll have that bet with anyone. Anyone want to take it with me?
Well, Sava, I agree with you. So you know this already. You heard me say this. You heard me say this live and direct. I agree with you on that score. I agree. I told you. I told everybody outside the window. I'm taking a step back this year. I'm going to wait till September 1st and judge the window at the end. Yeah, 7:01. I'll judge the window. Yeah, but I'm not going to criticize Spurs. I don't care whose fault it is. If it's Spurs, I don't care if it's the other club. I don't really care. I'm going to judge the window at the end. Yeah, judging it now is like watching a movie and saying, "Look, yeah, I'm halfway through the movie, and let me just judge the window now." You can't judge it until the end. And once the end has come, yeah, then I can give you a full perspective of how I actually feel about the window. Right now, yeah, the window's not closed yet. And so right now, we can actually see some evidence of them doing something right. I'm going to give them the praise they need at the time, yeah, and say, look, yeah, fair play to you. So I'm a balanced view. So before I whack you with anything because of the negative side, because of what people call the bad side, yeah, I have to give you your props to say, look, you've done well, so that you can maintain that level and keep it going.
What would you say to that?
No.
Why?
I want Eze in the middle.
I want Savio on the left. I do not think anyone can give me a genuine name of someone that has the current and future potential of someone like a Savio the Spurs would be able to get. Savio is available. They're saying they will sell at the right price. Just go and buy him. It is that simple. It's not what's his name?
Simple, though.
What's the guy in the middle called?
Akalush.
Well, okay. What?
Go on.
Did anyone ever hear of this kid?
Yeah, he's very good.
Really? Because I hadn't. I mean, he's playing in what?
But you also said Johnny Reinders and Cherky were meh. So it's like you know you've got to pinch of salt here. By the way, if Spurs played this lineup, right, with Eze, Kudus, and Akalush more as 10s than out wide, yeah, allowing Eze to float wide or Kudus to float wide, and then Spence and Porro overlapping, I am taking that all day and a month of Sundays. All that free behind the striker is absolutely top draw. And if anyone has not seen, maybe if I'm saying it wrong, but Akalushi, if anyone has not seen him play, please do. Please go and watch this boy play. He's 23. He's had a number of years now in the French league. He's got a France international. Please watch this boy play. He's a fucking player. Do I want Savio as the first choice? Absolutely, I do. But if anyone's turning their nose up at that,
but what about Kulu? What about Madison?
The only picture I see up there, yeah, is that useless Dodo Pigeon. Yeah, he for me, yeah, is as bad as your man down there's player. Yeah, Emerson Royale. He is that level of player.
He's got the best agent in the world, Philly. The best agent in the world, old Emerson.
He is awful. Technically, that man is awful. He is as bad as the Emerson Royale, who's got a touch like a brick through a plate glass window. He is awful player. I do not like the Pigeon in no way, shape, or form. He is not my player. I am not liking him, bro. He to me, yeah. He's a great scorer of goals, yeah, or great goals. But he is no way a lethal goal scorer. And the maximum he's ever got in one season is 13 goals, by the way. So anyone saying he's going to get 25, yeah, you're going to add another 12 to his maximum record. It ain't happening anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore...
I know that, Philly, but the point of this wasn't about Richarlison. The point of this was about, look at the free plus Paulinho. If I had said to anyone at the end of last season that is the 11 that we go into the season with, no one off of the base of last season would have said no. Look at it.
I agree.
Look at that. Look at the goals, the assists, the creativity, the pace, the flair in that free behind the striker.
I agree, Savio. It's quality this year over quantity. That is quality. This year, Spurs have actually done quality over quantity, and they've got 4 signings here that revolutionise the team going forward. They've made ourselves defensively solid. So we've also got Paulinho who can drop in between the back two when we go forward. So if we want to play the wing backs up high, we can do that because we have a safety net there in Paulinho. All we need is a decent box to box midfielder. You've got the creative midfielder in Eze, and then you need someone on the left, someone on the right, and a clinical goal scorer up front, and that's it. You're away and set. So, and then afterwards, you need to sort out the bench as well and have the players that we have in the team drop down to the bench so you have adequate competition for places, because that's what we've been crying out for in years. But then but that's a start. The 4 signings here that have come in this year have dropped players that we had in the team last year to the bench. And that is all I can ask for as a fan, is that you've come in and you've brought signings that of that level, that you've knocked them players that we had in the first team, and that everybody was raving about because we won the Europa League with those players, by the way, right? And put them onto the bench. And that's all I can ask for. So thank Daniel Levy for this year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. What's that guy? What's his name? Something. Oh, Ankalu. What's his name?
Akalouche.
Right, okay. It's interesting. He's got the same statistics last season as Johnson in his first season for Spurs: 5 goals, 10 assists. Would you not be looking for someone a little better than him, considering the
See, but
league
this
he's
is the
coming
problem.
from?
That you've literally judged the player based on his GA there. That's all you've done. When you're saying, would I want a little bit better, you've just admitted you've never seen him play.
I haven't, so I have to go.
How can you say you
sorry.
would want a little bit better? Like,
Because I look at the league and then I look at the statistics. That's all I can do. And looking at both,
mate, he's a really good player.
well, give me a quick lesson. Explain to me. Give me something about him, because again, I've not
Very
watched him
skillful, brilliant footwork, good with give and goes, joins in the attack, gets goals, all sort of seen him score some absolute worldies as well. We're not talking about tap-ins. This is a really good technical footballer. And as I said on my show the other day, when you get these players in, anybody praising Johnson and just going by stats will go, bloody hell, look at the upgrade. This is the problem. No offense, but when fans just go by goals and assists, let's use, for example, the game against Burnley, right? Brennan Johnson may as well have been sitting with me and you. He was anonymous. Gets the goal and everyone goes, that's what he does. What about the other 90 minutes? No link-up play, no creativity. The defender has an easy game the entire 90 minutes. Listen, these guys are different level to what Brennan Johnson, different level to Brennan Johnson as footballers. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying we'll get him. If we don't, watch when this kid moves somewhere. Like you say, kid, he's 23. Watch when he moves somewhere. He'll be one where our fans will go, oh, why didn't we get him? Fans don't want him. Fans don't want a top player. We're GA merchants. That's what we are. We're now, everyone's a GA merchant. Look at all the fans. Oh, Kudus. Oh, but he didn't have a great GA last year. It's like, yeah, but have you seen him play? Like, have you seen? Yeah, but I'd rather Johnson. What? Like, what are we? Who you rather having on the right, Johnson or Kudus?
I'm having Kudus. But
I'm a bit of an advocate for Johnson, but
let me knock two pieces here and make it, see if I can make it right. What are we doing here? There are levels to this game, bro. I wanted Kudus about 4 years ago when he was at Ajax. He is a very, very good, skillful winger, right? There are levels between him and Johnson, right? But we had fans here stating that Johnson had better stats than Kudus. No, if you actually watch the two of them play, they're two different players, and I'd rather have Kudus over him. It's the same way on the left-hand side here. I haven't seen Al-Khalouchi yet, but I want to see what he's like here. I'm not going to go on the stats. We had a lot of fans here going last year on stats when we were in Europe, bro. Guess what happened? They had a reality check during the Europa League run, yeah, because they were saying, "Oh well, that league is rubbish." Then Spurs played Galatasaray. What happened there? Oh, that league was rubbish. Spurs plays Rangers. I believe Power Rangers morphed before the game, and Spurs were holding on in the end. We had so much, and I'm not slating that at you, but so much ignorance here, because fans who didn't watch those leagues, they just looked at the stats and just thought that stats here doesn't. I'm just reading what is right, what's there, but you haven't seen the players, you haven't seen that league, you haven't taken time to watch that league and watch that specific player and see what they add to the team. You just looked and seen what stats he has, but that can be mirrored and that could be pushed in an argument here where it favors that narrative, if you understand what I'm saying. But until you see the player play, then you can make a full judgment of it.
I'm taking him all day long. I'm taking him all day long. You know, sometimes you just watch a player, right, and you go, yeah. Right, let me show you. I'm going to show you something here, right, guys. And again, this is just surface level, because I'm going to show you Brennan Johnson's data on FB Ref, right? And then I'm going to show you Akalouche, for example, and have a look at the difference in class at everything. Ready? This is Brennan Johnson. Have a look at the state of that. Look, can't pass.
If Dan is watching this, he is praying I don't say anything about
Right.
Johnson.
So everyone's saying they want. Have a look. Assists, crap. Look, I tell you, let me read out what all this is, by the way, guys. You've got the two at the top are the non-penalty goals, which we know he's good with. Shots, 44th percentile. Assists, 19th percentile. Expected assisted, 11th percentile. Right? Shot creating actions, the first percentile. 8th percentile for passes attempted. Pass completed, 13. Progressive passes. You get the drift, right? Now let's have a look at my man.
But.
Hang on.
Oh, look green there.
Look at the levels of this guy. Now, this is against wingers and attacking midfielders. Now, if I switch him to versus midfielders, look how much the green goes up.
That's embarrassing to Brendan Johnson.
This is the levels where we're at. So when people are saying to me like Brennan Johnson, I'm like, they're blinded because he puts the ball in the net. And I know that's important, but what you will get from these other players during the game is just going to be phenomenal. Look at that data. That data is scary. That data is genuinely scary.
I agree. With Brendan Johnson, yeah, right. I'm looking at him thinking you play a brilliant impact sub, yeah, against tired legs. Someone that when the opposition get tired, yeah, you running off the back of them and stretching them when they go forward. If they're looking to score, right, and they come forward and they push forward, you'd be the perfect player, yeah, to get onto the ball, yeah, and try and be an outlet. But even that, he's weak in possession anyway. But that's the kind of player that I would look at Brendan Johnson as. But there's levels between him and Alcalush and him, and I'm sorry, there are levels between, and he's not. And the sad thing is, yeah, there are players better than him in other teams as well that make him just look. Yeah, no.
Do you know what? I'm a bit of an advocate for Brennan Johnson. I feel like he gets a bit more stick than perhaps he deserves. Look, listen, Brennan Johnson has scored, 18 goals last season. I think 3 or 4 assists. His previous season, 5 goals, 10 assists. I think anyone who's got 30 goal involvements in the Premier League over 2 seasons, I think cannot be called a bad player. I know that's not the subject right now.
Player.
No, you'd be surprised how many people really cry out a lot of hate for that guy. And I just feel it's a little bit unwarranted. No, he is not Messi. No, he is not Ronaldo. He doesn't do step overs. He doesn't do flicks. He does ghost, absolutely. But you have to admit, to get the goal involvements that he does, he can't be a bad player, surely.
Right. No. This is the difference. He can be a bad player. He's just got a knack of getting in the box. There's a difference. Technically, as that data shows, when you actually watch as a player, everything is bad. His passing, his crossing, his actions on the ball, his everything, receiving the ball in the final third, his final pass, everything is bad. What he's got, and no one can take away from him, is he has got that goal on him. The problem is with this is there are going to be times, there are many times where when he doesn't score a goal, he offers nothing to a team. And what you've got to understand is, look at the other day. Burnley stuck 2 free men out on Kudus because they knew that's your danger man. That should never be happening. What you want is Kudus here, Eze out there on the left, or Savio, someone like that, and then you're going, shit, we can't double up on both of them. What are we going to do? That's the fear you want. Brennan Johnson doesn't strike fear into anyone.
His thought process on the field is worrying as well. So you did it earlier in the season, yeah. I've never seen a winger go back on himself. he actually went back on himself, brother. He went forward, against go and watch the Leicester game again, seriously. He went forward, and then he checked back on himself, and then he went backwards with the ball, as if to give the opposition player the chance to come back on him, bro. So I'm worried about his thought processes in the game anyway. I'm looking at, don't get me wrong, he has a knack of being at the right place at the right time, and I don't judge him solely on that. But yeah, he has a knack of getting in the right place at the right time. But as a footballer, he is awful, bro. And like I say, there were many things that I could pull apart. And it's not hatred, bro. It's just the things I see in the game. When I look at the game and I watch him play, I see his ability, and I think, bro, we deserve so much better than watching that. And like I said, the best thing for him would be an impact. So by the end of the game, where tired legs are there, and you can run on it and score.
100%. We saw that when it was. Look, there are times. Just to close it off with Brennan Johnson, there are times when you see him on the pitch, I don't even think he knows he's on a football pitch. He's looking around the stand, looking up at the thing. Oh, ball. Oh, okay. You know, that's the impression that he gives. Don't get me wrong, like Philly says, gets in the right place at the right time. To come on with 20, 25 minutes to go, do you know what I mean? I think that would be his perfect role. But other than that, I'm not sure. Just let's not do what we do as Spurs fans, right? He scored a goal. I mean, I still don't think he scored it, but anyway, he scored the goal that won us our first trophy in God knows how long, right? Let's not do what we always do and go, oh, well, he needs to stay. He needs to stay. No, we need better.
Who scored the winning goal for Chelsea in the Champions League final against Man City?
No one knows, innit?
Kai Havertz.
Wasn't it Kai Havertz?
It was Kai Havertz.
These people, it's such a, I'll be honest, I find it such a limited way of thinking. Like I'm seeing people in the chat going, who scored the winner in the Europa League? Well, first of all, I still don't think he touched it. But it's such a limited way of thinking, isn't it? Mm. Like, that's like turning around and saying, if Ben Davies scored the winner in an FA Cup final because the ball is bobbling about. Let's say Spurs have a corner. The ball's bobbling about. It falls to Ben Davies and he tucks it away from 6 yards. Oh my God, he's a legend. He scored a winner in a cup final. Really? Like, we're far too sentimental. Listen, I think there's a place for Brennan Johnson. I do. I think he's a good squad option. I think you know what you're going to get from him in terms of the goal. But if we really want to be a Champions League football club, if we really want to play against the top teams, you cannot have people like him in the team where it bounces back every time it goes near him. The difference is Akalush or Akliush, if that's the right way to say it, Kudus, Eze, these are very comfortable footballers. Put the ball into their feet. And I was always taught this, guys. I was always taught this, right? A good player is someone you can give the ball when they've got someone marking them and they don't mind receiving it under pressure, right? You watch how many times on Saturday Spurs put the ball into Kudus. He don't care. He's got 2 men on him. You know why? He can roll his foot. He's got this arm. Go there. He's rolling. He's got the ball under control of his feet. He's a footballer. Problem with Brennan Johnson, he might get the goals that some of the others don't. He's not a footballer. He's not. The ball goes into him, bounces back. Ball goes into him, bounces back. If any of us were marking Brennan Johnson, you'd fancy yourself because he's weak. He's absolutely weak. He's weak. So look, I'm not. There's a place for him, but I'm not going to do this revisionism that suddenly he's a great footballer. And this is where stats really can be very, very misleading for me. So I look, yeah, just saying. Anyway, look, I'm going to do some super chats, and then we are going to go. But listen, this is, by the way, this is Savio. So you can see, look, look at it. I mean,
was that based off last season, Sav?
This is just based off hang on, let me check. I think this is them in their career.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, I believe that this is them in their career.
Are you able to bring up
365 days, it says, no?
Sorry, where does it say that?
Go back, press back. There you go.
There we go. Last 365 days. Yeah. Who did you want, Benji?
No, I was just asking if you could bring up last season, but last 365 days is more than good enough days, basically last season. To do that in the Premier League is absolutely nuts for a first season at the age of 20 years old. Jesus.
Let's have a look at Matoma.
Yeah, we also have to factor Benji. Yeah, that's on the wrong side, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's even more crazy, right, Phil? That's even more crazy. Here's a left winger. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, listen, look, I'm not saying that is definitive, but you know, when you've got one that's got everything in green and one that's got like everything in red, you have to start asking questions about how good is the player. Look, at the end of the day, I'll end it on this. I'll say this. I've said this again and again and again and again. It's only when you get better players in do we start to realise how silly some of our takes were on the players we had. Already, people are going, oh my God, look at Kudus, right? Because in one game, you see, look at the quality he's got in his feet, right? When Eze joins, we're going to go, oh my God, look at the difference between him and the rest of the players. Right? If we get Akalouche, if we get Savio, we're going to do the same thing. When we get a proper striker instead of Richarlison, all the fans glazing Richarlison are going to go, Jesus Christ, look how good this striker is. Right? That's how it is.
Trevor, can I take this point from you? Let me take this point from you, yeah, because I'm gonna actually encourage this point there. And it's gonna be this: what were the fans like here when they told Eric Dyer? Do you remember the initial impact here when Van der Ven came in? What a defender! Why? Because he was competent, yeah, and he wasn't doing what Eric Dyer was doing.
Hang on, look at when Bentancur came in. Bentancur, by the way, he's a good midfielder, but Bentancur came in and took over from Skip, Winks, and Sissoko, and we all went, "Oh my God, he is the greatest footballer we've ever seen." Well, no, he's not. He's like you said, Philly. He's a competent midfielder that's got a good touch, knows his position. Kulu. We went, oh my gosh. This is the difference. We can praise these players, but there's a reason. There's a reason why these players are talked about by so many people in a so I don't want to say in a derogatory way, but they're not praised because it's hard work watching Brennan Johnson. I find it hard work watching players like that. I really do. I find it really hard work watching Matisse Tell play football. I don't enjoy it. That's only my opinion. I don't enjoy watching either of these guys play football. All right, great goals every now and then, but as a footballer, I want to see you get the ball on a top player. You can in 10 seconds you can go top player. You watch next time you watch a game. Watch. I don't know, next time you see a Spanish game, Villarreal versus Valencia, you'll watch a game instantly. Whoever the best player on the park is, you'll go, God, look at him. Look at that touch. Look at that control. You'd never, ever look at Brennan Johnson and say that, ever, would you?
Nope.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. He hasn't got a good pass. He's not got a good control of the ball. He can't beat a man. He's got no tricks. It's not like he can put them in the top bin. He's got no strength. So look, let me do some super chats and then we'll round off because I am live at 10, so I need a break. James has said, wanted Kudus. It happened. Eze, now. Well done, Levy. James, well, we need to get this over the line. We need to get this over the line, and I'm sure we'll hear more about it tonight. Maybe we go tomorrow. Oh, good God. Big up to you, James. Thank you very much. Rob Welsh, thank you very much. Said, Ben, seriously, who stole the jam out of your donut?
You did, Gary.
Oh, I'd love a jam donut. Big up to you, Rob. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you. And Lubo her up. I said, P, fave films, Shining and Blade Runner among mine. Panel, is that panel favorite films, Shining and Blade Runner among what?
It's asking Philly, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Philly.
Oh, because of my channel.
I'm like,
oh, you are nice, isn't it?
Mate, go on, Philly. 2. Give me 2 of your favourite films. Just 2. 2.
I'm going to give you Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I'm going to give you The Running Man.
The Running Man? Arnie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's a glorious film. Everything about that film. Violence, women, Arnie being Arnie. Yeah, great film. Great film. Big up. Thank you very much, Luba. Up. Guys and girls, I'll be back tonight at 10 p.m. Hopefully we've got some news by then. Listen, it's moving fast. It's bound to. There's 13 and a half days of the transfer window left. Thank you very much to Chris, who came on. Thank you very much to Benji. Thank you very much to Philly. And what great news that we found Nick. He's been missing in action for about a month, but we found him. Here he is. The restraining order firmly in place from Emerson Royale. Here he is. Thank you very much. And let me leave you with a few things. For any of you who are wondering, this guy is a massive flip-flop. I want a job at McDonald's. And Lubo loves his chairman. On that note, take care, everyone.
Wait, you know how it goes, Savio. Let me do it for the people out there.
You know what? Never on a show does anyone let me end out. They never let me end my show and go. Everyone goes, 1 second. Go on.
Right. Welcome, everybody, to Blockbuster Music Games and Television. Come over, smash a like, subscribe to our channel, and we talk everything movies, games, and television, anime, and everything else. We should have a show tomorrow night, so come on over and have some light-hearted talks with me, Corey Boy, and Vinketic, and like and subscribe and all that nice stuff. So thanks very much, Savio, for letting me introduce my channel. And
Of course. Now I'll have to end without the big end that I had planned. Take care, everyone. Much love, and as always, come on, you Spurs.